king of love track, baby. Take wheel. Take wheel. Everybody take wheel. Come on, take wheel. Do the take wheel. Everybody take wheel. You got to speak to me, bitch, I don't give a fuck. Give you a jab to the nose and make you say what's up. I'm in the club, nigga, talk with the long barrel. When the music stop having sick and not Christmas carols. People hate me, man, I really do know why. They see the wings on my back and they know I'm gon' fly. So what's that?
I can't hear you.
Are they local artists?
Oh, brother.
Remember, used to put newspaper in my tennis shoes. Used to walk around in them
I thought you said I ain't gonna take it on the mic.
Oh, I didn't know we were live. Are we live?
Yeah, we live. I mean, they're hearing the music, though.
On it. Moving it closer.
Blow your brains out in your lap, now hold that thought. Motherfucker, stop pretending of a new era. Jay will get in and pop a nigga cause I'm so clever. You can love me, I hate me, nigga, but I'm still with G5 legacy, never in the bitch, stuff again.
Yeah, that G5 legacy, like that, okay. I know. Yeah. Yeah.
Just for my killers who just straight up murder.
Yeah.
You in the sewer dead just like a ninja turtle. I got connects with the real fucking black
Nah.
mob. And I'm trying to get it right for my man God. So any drama don't believe me that there's no problem. Niggas will torture your ass, you wish they fucking rob you. Menace to society, that's my favorite one. Desert Eagle 50 caliber, that's my favorite gun. My next is running, yes I'm gunning for your fucking dome. You the homie kid cause you always running fucking home. And BK got a boy, your house will clap it up. I run my mouth like a big booty bitch,
I'ma clap it up.
Try niggas on pickups just like they did.
All right, we got Brandy Perry in the building. Ken Turner, what's good? 1409 podcast in the building, doing things. I got a big pocket up in here. Yeah.
You can love me, I hate me, nigga, but I'm still with G5 legacy, never in the bitches this is the beginning of a new era. Jay will get in it.
Yeah, Leah's doing it in here.
You can love me, I hate me, nigga, but I'm
Precious
still
lady in the building.
Fuck that shit,
Got me eating good, fat.
I know, always.
I keep the termites fed like a pistol, stay with some lead. Like Marita, dog, stay with some bread. I lived in the trailer, not no projects. They still got it, but you wouldn't run on my set. I kill niggas, dog, and also I kill time. Tell out my snitches
Into
fucking
mine.
Niggas tell me, goddamn, they drop the fucking down. Your brains are gone, now you out of your
Fucking mind.
and niggas know I fight you, bitch. Yeah, I'm ready to strike, but they don't fucking understand and get the bitch to that
Get
head
that gun clap.
It's the beginning of a new era. Jay will get in and pop a nigga cause I'm so clever. You can love me, I hate me, nigga, but I'm still with G5 legacy, never in the bitch, it's the beginning. This is the beginning of a new era. Jay will get in and pop a nigga cause I'm so clever. You can love me, I hate me, nigga, but I'm still with G5 legacy, never in the bitch, it's the beginning.
Yeah, that thing clear, ain't it? Ooh,
Lighting.
that clear game is together, ain't it? Ooh, don't play with me.
Lighting change. Come on, we got the music here for
I
real.
know, right? Yeah. Hey, we doing it big. Hey, you know, we have those 2.0 shows, and then we have shows that are just shows. But today, this is a great show following up my great visit out in Alabama. And if you look into the front, you'll see these two great waters sitting out in the front, you know what I'm saying? And of course, one right here, this is 1186, all right? I'll get into this more later in the week because I got a video that's coming out that's going to really explain my whole trip. That's why I don't want to talk about it to anybody. I'm putting it all together as far as me getting the videos together right now. The way I'm going to narrate it, I'm going to put it out on my YouTube and I'll put it out on Instagram. So be on the lookout for that this week. It's really going to kind of chronicleize the whole trip as I took it to go out to Alabama. I had a great time with the 1186 team, and they treated me wonderful out there. And so I will be talking about that. So just make sure you know that you go out here and get your 1186 because one, I'm going to be pushing it hard. And of course, you look at the bottom of the screen, you can see it streaming at the bottom. The number one man in town, the 13-year-old phenom, my man Javon, the little young CEO of Ja Juice. Okay,
I've never tried that.
Yeah, you're gonna try it though. We're gonna make sure you can't have one of those because one, that's I want
promotional display,
and I want you to have that fresh pull up because they pull up on you. Okay, so don't make them come to your building because I have them pull up to the building and bringing juice to you just like that because that's what he does. Okay,
nice. I love some good customer service.
You know what I'm saying, and that's how it is all day. You know what I'm saying. Let me go ahead, shout out to a few people in here. We got Brandon in the building, Ken doing his thing, of course, 1409 podcast. We got The Pocket. Everybody know about The Pocket. Make sure you grab one. My girl, Danielle, big time, doing it big down in Miami. Listen, she got a restaurant down in Miami that's popping. This is one of the owners of Wink and Drink. My favorite. My favorite, your favorite, right?
Yeah.
You smiling,
I like that song.
You smiling, so I gotta hit you there because you smiling too damn hard.
I like that song.
Hey, Wink and Drink, what? A Wink and Drink, what?
I like the app.
Yeah, a Wink and Drink, what? Hit 'em, G. It's 5 o'clock. It's time to leave. I dig into my pockets, pull out my car keys. Hey. Grab my wallet, walk out the front door. Unlock my phone, open the app store. Hey, I need a place to meet and think. Found a brand new app called Wink and Drink. Yeah, it's Wink and Drink. Hey, it's Wink and Drink. Come on, it's Wink and Drink. A brand new app where people meet. Come on. It's Wink and Drink. Hey! It's Wink and Drink. It's Wink and Drink. A brand new app where people meet. Shout out for the damn Wink and Drink crew. Danielle, my girl down in Miami, doing it big. Danielle, if you don't mind, can you type in the name of your restaurant down in Miami and the address so people can make sure they go down there? And like I told you, I got 2 cases of water coming out there to you. As a one, just I want you to try it. I want some of your patrons to try it. Because I'm telling you, it's a wonderful water.
It's very smooth. I love it.
It's smooth and it's just really, no chemicals or anything. And once you see the video that I put out, it's of my trip, you definitely gonna want to support it. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about it. Somebody like Budweiser is behind it. Budweiser is making sure they get this water. Listen, everybody's gonna do it. And once again, it is the state water for Alabama. It is the state water for Alabama.
I did not know that. That's super dope, especially for it to be Black owned. That's really nice.
In Alabama, I'm trying to tell you.
Black female owned.
No. I'm talking about the water.
Oh, I thought
I'm talking the water. No, not the water. They don't Wink and Drink. The app.
Oh, okay. Got
you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let me hold this for a second real quick. Oh, my God. Yeah, so we got to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, we always good on the piece right there. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing. Wink and Drink. Let me go ahead and put this. I want everybody to this place right here. They had a big blowout Miami Beach last Wednesday. I think it was before I was going to Alabama, or the week before. They did the Wink and Drink drop out there in Miami. Phenomenal.
Nice.
I'm talking about great. Here's Austin. I can't. You speak Spanish, don't you? You took that in class. Say that with the in there.
Estrella del Cerrato.
Oh. Hey, it's my girl Danielle's restaurant. How about that?
We're gonna Google.
That's what it is. It's Danielle's restaurant. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You know what I'm saying? You go out there, tell them G5 sent you. I don't know if she can get a free drink. You know what? She can go out there and tell them G5 sent you, and you got a free drink on me. Danielle, just send me the bill. That's all you got to do. Everybody that goes there.
All right. Make sure
that's what needs to happen. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna make that happen all day. I got you though. You know what I'm saying? But listen, my girl right here, all the way from the damn college, that they got the big tall dude down there on 45. What's that college again?
Sam Houston State University.
You know what I'm saying? You know, if you watch, what was your episode number? You remember?
It was like 2.
I bet Tony M know. Tony M
ago.
Probably know. Hey Tony M, what's the episode number? Tony M. I bet you he can tell us. Tony know. Okay.
Is he logged in?
What was that? Oh, shoot, Tony be on it.
Oh, okay.
Tony don't play.
Okay.
Listen, Tony he does not play at all.
Okay.
No, he makes it happen.
Okay.
So he'll tell us a minute. Okay, yes, a nice Italian restaurant down there. And like she said, come on over. Like I said, make sure.
Italian food.
Yeah, listen, come on now. I just, I can't, I don't have that, I can't get my tongue right to say the words the right way. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure if Danielle was here,
I love
she'll make it
Miami,
happen.
so I'll have to put
Oh
that
yeah,
on my
if
list.
you in Miami, you have to go. Listen, everybody goes to Miami. If you go to Miami, I'm telling you right now, if you do not, and this is not like tucked away, this is right there on Miami Beach. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna see this. This ain't one of those hidden spots. You know what I'm saying? This is expensive spots. Like, the
fine dining,
like
a steak 48.
Nice. Ooh, very nice. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
classy. Danielle's a very classy woman. So everything is classy out there. So and that's what they do. But hey, let's talk about what we're here for today. All right, and what we're here for today, like I said, Leah, she came in a couple episodes ago, and because I believe just counseling is something I would say in a lot of communities, it's something that a lot of people run from, in whatever reason, whatever way. And so some of the things we're going to talk about tonight, and we're really going to get into some of the things that people say is stigmas when it comes to it. And so what I'm doing, this kicks off Mental Health Awareness Month, as well as Better Speech and Hearing Month as well. So every week I'm having a professional come on the show on one of the days of the week. So it'll be a total of 5 professionals I'm gonna have, because what's gonna happen, Leah's my professional this week. I think I got Kenzie next week. Leah's working on somebody for me for the 3rd week, and on the 4th week I have a psychiatrist come on the show, and then I have Hugo, who he does counseling for addiction and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
And so he'll be here as well, right? Nice. And so I'm gonna bring all you guys back at the end of the month, and we're really gonna have a round table. So we're gonna have a couple of cameras sitting up in the corner, and it's just gonna really be a great conversation.
That's gonna be nice.
Yeah. So we can really hear it from the perspective of you guys. And it's so funny. And this morning in Clubhouse, we had a nice doctor, Annie, and I invited her to come watch the show this evening as well. But I told her that what I was doing. I said I would like for her to chime in, and she's over in she's in Spain.
Oh wow, nice.
So she's in Spain, and so
we're about to be international.
We're trying to be international out here. That's what we try to do.
But I dig it. That deserves a hand clap.
Shit, just go ahead and drop it. I drop it. I'm trying to make the move right now.
That's what I'm saying. You better claim it. I
ain't want to crank up on that right there, but I'll crank up on it. So this is very important to me, Leah.
Definitely,
it's important. So if you can give us a brief introduction yourself, you know what I'm saying, as I bring you in with these damn hand claps like I do, you know what I'm saying, so I can clap it on up. But hold up now. The meal tonight, I have to tell you.
Oh my God.
The meal tonight,
where do I begin?
Is being sponsored by my man, the one and only Tony M.
Oh, thank you, Tony.
You know what I'm saying?
The
Tony M.
crab legs, the food was amazing. You did agree to that. I appreciate you for that. Thank you. And oh my gosh, it's so good.
What was right for you?
On point.
Come on now.
On point. Like, I'm sure y'all saw me rubbing earlier. Y'all see this plate? Like, amazing. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So give us a little brief about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Then we're gonna go ahead and dive in.
Okay. My name is Aaliyah Watson. I go by Leah the Therapist. I am a licensed professional counseling supervisor here in the Houston area. I am also licensed in Louisiana. My specialty is minority women issues, different stressors that we deal with day to day. And again, it's Mental Health Awareness Month. So I'm so grateful. And I thank you again for this platform to allow us to have these open conversations. And if you guys have questions, please drop them so that we can answer and like kind of work on breaking the stigma towards mental health.
Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm going to pause before I go to the backup again, because this thing, I'm telling you, every time I have a great You know, sometimes you got to wear all the hair. Okay, I'm back now. Don't try to act like we didn't get back. All right.
Back like we never
Yeah.
left.
You know what I'm saying? It's probably it'll buffer up here in a second, but it's really back though. Let me look on my phone, make sure.
We're back in action.
We're back in action. Let's see. Testing 1, 2. All right. 6 people. Let's see. Hey Tony, can you hear me? Type something if you can hear me, Tony.
Testing 1, 2, 3. You know, thinking of the G5, you know what that made me think about?
What did it make you think about?
That's G3, right? The one, the strip
that?
club. No, it's G5. The one
That's a
in Miami.
G5, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was a strip club in Miami, right?
And here. Okay, it's back. It's back. It's buffering up there, but it's right. I can see it. All right, so we back with you guys. I can see what you see now. So I got it on my phone. So we're good to go now. All right.
All right.
Boom, boom. So we good to go. See, we popping right now.
We got
We
action.
popping.
Thank y'all for being
TV.
patient.
Make sure I rock back and forth right here.
That shows your excitement.
I'll make sure we're live. Okay, we good. We good. We good. All right, so we back with you. So say that piece again because I think it kind of got cut off. That last
Like the whole bio.
Yeah, hit the
Gotcha. Okay.
because I think it was kind of messed up.
My name is Aaliyah Watson. I go by Leah the Therapist. I am a licensed professional counseling supervisor in the state of Texas, and I'm also licensed in the state of Louisiana. My specialty is working with minority women on depression, anxiety, work to life balance, relationship issues, family issues, kind of everything that we deal with day to day. And I, as you said, that it is Mental Health Awareness Month. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. I would love for y'all to ask questions, give feedback so that we can work on breaking the stigma.
The stigma. Shout out for that damn bio. That bio was good now.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I thought it was a little lengthy.
No, it
but-
wasn't lengthy. It was on point. No, you did that right there. If y'all notice my shirt right here, we got the Houston Wake Up right here in the building. You know what I'm saying? This is what they do right here on Clubhouse. You can check them out Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. They're doing big things out there, you know, in the community.
Interesting.
This, I'm trying to tell you, it's some good
You
stuff
always
going
put me on
I
some new
try
great people. I
try
like
to
that.
do it. I try to do it all the time. Okay, so now the big thing. Why do you think there's such an issue in any community when it comes to counseling or just mental anything? Why do you think?
I think the bigger issue is nobody wants to admit their flaws. Like nobody wants to be like, I have a problem or I could be doing something different. Like that takes a different level of like humbling yourself.
Right.
And then also sometimes in counseling, you might have to face some demons that you've been wanting to avoid or some flaws that you know that you've had.
The flaws. So how do you think these things happen because we're taught to do this, or is it something that we just kind of suppress when we're younger?
I think it's a little bit of
it?
both. I think we're taught what we learn in our environment based on different experiences that we have.
Right.
I think all of that kind of factors in as well. And sometimes we don't notice that until we have, i.e. somebody in the counseling or an unbiased person bringing that to your opinion. Like, hey, have you noticed some of these patterns about yourself or some of these different things about yourself and how you act or interact with people?
Right. So you speak of pattern. So I was always taught that everybody has a pattern, no matter what.
Ideally.
You know what I'm saying? Just generally how they are, how they behave, different things they do. Because that's how we kind of determine if somebody's not acting their normal, what we say, right? Do you think systematically people could come up and if they see the pattern of maybe the males in the family, they don't talk to people when issues happen. So they watch this, they carry it as a child, and they come up as a young adult, and then they do the same exact thing. So that pattern.
But I
just
also
repeats
feel
itself.
like society plays into some of these patterns as well, because patterns evolve. Like if we think of now, like with social media, there's such a different pressure versus like if we go back to 30 years, that wasn't a dynamic or a pattern that they had to deal with. If we're dealing with like the pattern of like judgment, self-doubt, and comparison, because that's all we're looking at all day. So the view of that might have been different, but I definitely feel like your immediate environment plays it. But I also feel like a lot of your experience is important as well.
Okay, so in you deal, you said particularly with women, right? In the situation, you say it's abuse, or is it
minority women?
Minority women, but is it behind abuse or
No,
like,
really, just it's a
different
lot of
things?
like day-to-day women from the ages of like I work with a lot of adolescents and then
Uh-huh.
also women up to the age of 65. A lot of us are
Right.
dealing with the same thing. It's either relationship or marriage stress. This job is stressing me out.
Right.
I'm having trouble setting boundaries at my job with my family or with my partner, or I'm even having issues identifying and communicating my needs. So a lot of it just women in these like in that age group, we're all dealing with the same thing. So having somebody to identify with, but also
Right.
to process through some of these things.
Oh, okay. I think we got something from the board. If you could read that for me, if you don't mind.
The board's still a little frozen on
Is
me.
it? Oh, okay. My bad. So I'll read it. One of the things still frozen, but it says Brandy Perry says, I think parents taught some of us not to tell our business and made asking for help taboo. What's your thoughts about that right there?
100%. If we had an audience right now, what is the number one thing that you learned in a Black household? What happens in this house stays in this house. So I would 100% agree. Or even outside of that is don't go run and tell my business to so-and-so. Like that's a huge bias. And then also for the fact that there's gossip and mess. Like, I mean, again, I would 100% agree that our family has brought some of those things to light or made some of those things seem habit forming.
Oh, okay. So Ms. Perry, I ask you this right here. What do you think some of the causes, based off your statement that you just made, what do you think some of the causes that manifest throughout the term of years that could apply to maybe, the male or female, as far as when they're dealing with people, relationships, you know what I'm saying? What do you think of some issues that can come from that? And I'll just pose that question to you, Ms. Perry. If you can type it in anytime you get ready to. But I'm gonna ask you, what do you think those things, the problems that they pose later on?
It definitely makes it difficult for you to communicate with friends, potential partners,
right?
Even difficult to communicate in the workplace or even get help whenever you need help, i.e. therapy. A lot of people are resistant to it because of these background things that they've learned or have heard.
Oh, okay. Do you think a lot of self-worth, do you think a lot of that comes from just maybe the doubt, not able to express people, themselves as when they were younger? You know what I'm saying?
Definitely a lot of self-doubt comes from that because if I can only go based on what the world says or if I don't feel comfortable like countering somebody's thoughts or what's said because of the fact that I was taught not to communicate my wants or my needs, of course that would make it difficult because it's just you against yourself in your head.
Right. Okay. All right. Why is, I guess my thing is this right here. Like, and I pose it to the audience as well. Why is it such an issue? And I seen your answer, Ms. Perry. Like, why is it such an issue to talk to someone, seek help? Is it that we're so intimidated by the thoughts of our friends or people around us that we won't even care about ourselves?
I think I would love to hear some of the audience's feedback on that because I would say a lot of people don't want to like face their demons or face, some flaws about themselves. But I would love to hear from the audience of like, what are some reservations or reasons why that you kind of wouldn't want to go, like you said, do something to better yourself.
Right. Okay. We're going to throw that on. Let me put this back over here. See what Ms. Perry said. You can go ahead and take that.
We pass it on to our children. Oh, okay.
It's gonna pop back up here in a second. I looked up there and saw for a minute.
We pass it on to our children, thus making it more difficult to have an open dialogue about our mental health with our parents and our kids. 100%, because even at a young age, if we want to verbalize like, well, hey mom, this is why I act like this, or like, something that's automatically shut down, like no talking back, don't talk back to me.
Right.
Like, it's like, I'm really not talking back. I'm just actually trying to express myself or, try to get better understanding of why this happened.
Right. And see that block and Tony M says it's expensive too. You know what I'm saying?
Most people have it. And I think that's a part of the many stigmas. Insurance covers counseling, and a lot of people are paying monthly to these premiums that they do get a lot of counseling for either free to low cost. Like during the pandemic, all copays were waived up until like March. They just stopped waiving them. All copays were waived for teletherapy. And so I think it's just like a lack of knowledge, especially in our actually it's anywhere. Like there's not a lot of knowledge on how to access mental health resources.
You're 100% right, because I didn't know that. I didn't know copays were waived.
And a lot of copays are usually.
I didn't see that go across Instagram anywhere.
It very true. And then a lot of copays average from like $20 to $50. So a lot of the times they're still very feasible and you're paying for these resources.
Right.
So your best option is to use it.
So so this is really gonna be audience based, honestly. Because one, we really want to know. I like, it's good to have a professional in here, so they can talk about, what they've seen through their clients. But it's the people that's in the crowd and that's in the audience, right? That really have those questions. I know they do. And one, because your family members have those questions. I have a few questions I'm gonna ask just in general to everybody, not just her, but to everybody, because we have to get past this point, man, where we thinking it's wrong or we're looked at a certain way because we don't want to talk to anybody, right? Hold on, let me see what Tony said up here. Pop up yet?
Oh, here we go. We don't read or ask what we're paying for or what our policy covers. 100%. We just sign up. A lot of the times we go for like the cheaper alternative, but we actually don't even like look into what a lot of those services cover.
Right. And that is so very sad. So what I'm gonna do, y'all, and I'll be monitoring when comments come up, but I want to go ahead and put the number up here. And let me make sure I'm all queued in and everything.
Yes, please. I welcome questions because the goal of this month, they use the hashtag break the stigma. The goal is to kind of break some of these myths, start having more conversations around mental health. So please ask any questions, comments, concerns, scenarios. I am here to answer them.
That's right. And nothing is off limits. You know what I'm saying?
No judgment. No bias.
You don't even have to say your name when you call in. Just call in. And ask the question. Ask the question that you don't have. Ask the question somebody else has.
That's a good idea.
Ask the question that somebody else has said or you've talked about. You're sitting around watching.
Even if you think it might be beneficial for a family member, ask for them.
And that's what we're scared to do. And it's so funny, right? If you put a topic on YouTube that says, "Hey, we're gonna laugh at all the people who made these dumb mistakes this week," there'll be 1 billion people watching it. Right. But if you put something on there, say, "Hey man, let's talk about mental," awareness.
They're gonna keep scrolling.
They go, "No, I don't want to hear that mess." You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But yet they suffer. They'll suffer. You know what I'm saying? I don't know one person, not one person in my family, from any part of my family, that doesn't need counseling.
That's another stigma that people need to break, is that you don't always have to be like depressed or down for counseling. Counseling can be like a part of maintenance. Like you go to the doctor to go get a physical every year to make sure that you're okay. Like it can just be a maintenance to check in and kind of decompress before you explode or the day gets worse.
Right. And we just keep on going. And next thing you know, we done lost our mind.
Exactly. You build up and we have an explosion, an anger outburst, a moment of sadness. And it's like, where did this come from? Well, actually, no, this has been how you feeling.
You know what? I'm going to go here too, because this was something I posted today. And it was so interesting to hear it. Let's see if it come through here.
Life is a test. And when did you have the most anxiety in grammar school and high school?
No question.
On test day.
No question.
So your entire life become this test. I ain't trying to say the right answer. I am just doing what I feel. My mama said trying is failing. There is no ifs, woulds, coulds, shoulds. It just is. And we just are. If every time someone asks you a question, you try to say the right answer, your entire life is a test. And when did you have the most anxiety in grammar school and high school?
No question.
On test day.
No question.
So your entire life become this test. I ain't trying to say the right answer. I am just doing what I feel. My mama said trying is failing. There is no ifs, woulds, coulds, shoulds. It just is. And we just are.
Now, I look at that in a bunch of different ways, right? One of the ways I see it is one, I see a piece of it is brilliance. I really do, because what happened is society puts so much on people to the point that they're scared. And when they're scared, you know what I'm saying, they worry about, like you said, saying the right thing, right?
Or doing the right thing.
Or doing the right thing, right? And so at what point does a person really learn to be themselves or who they are?
Or even take that time to reflect on what is my true character or what do I really want?
So they grow up and they get older and they realize they've been acting their entire life. They've been acting. And now they don't know who to go talk to because now they have an identity crisis.
And then also everybody around them is probably biased or putting on their input of how they would want them to act or interact.
Right. It's kind of like the artist, the guy Wale, right? Wale has he don't like to be around a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? He has that issue. People would think because he's an artist that he wants to be around a bunch of people and stuff like that.
People got to protect their space and their energy.
When he goes on stage, he has anxiety when he goes out to meet people. You know what I'm saying? And it's a real thing. And he talked about it. People laughed at him at first. They laughed at him, but then he had to really kind of come to grips like, yo, no, this is real.
Anxiety is very real.
This is real.
A lot of people, they look at it as like a weakness, but sometimes it could even be genetic. And mental health is very real.
Okay, my man Don came in right here. Don said, do you guys mind giving a recap of what the question is as he got in late? The question was this right here, Don. It was, I posed it and I said, hey, what do you think the issue is to the point why anybody, you know what I'm saying, are scared to talk to somebody? Why is counseling taboo? Why is seeing a therapist taboo? Like, why is it such a bad stigma associated with anything mental health? And that is the question. And I know Don will go deep on this stuff right here because, you know, he was on the show and he had some great conversation. He really did. You know, and sometimes when I can speak for me, you can come up your environment. Your environment can make it can make you a certain way. It tells you have to be this way. Like no matter what, you have to be this way.
And if you start seeing it all the time, all around you, you're going to think it's a norm.
What's that?
I said, if you see it around you all the time, you're going to think that, okay, this is what everybody else is doing. So it must be right. Or it must be the norm.
It has to be. So it's almost like, you know, you learn how to be this wolf, right? And because it became survival. But you might not really be that malicious wolf. You probably are a wolf, but you're not a malicious wolf.
But that's probably that viciousness or those layers have come from different experiences or your environment.
Right. But then you get to the point where you just kind of want to shake that. You know what I'm saying? You want to really, I want to help people. Bump that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can go be a wolf if I need to in a situation to protect, right? But maybe I don't want to be a wolf. But who do I talk to in that situation? Do I go to my homeboys and say, yo, check this out, man. You know, I know we hard and everything, but you know, I don't want to be hard like that no more. You know what I'm saying? And they look at
they're going to probably judge you and everything like that.
Now
so then it makes that extra layer of like, I don't actually want to even have that conversation.
Right.
So I have to continue being this person that I don't want to be because I fear having that conversation about change.
Identity crisis.
Because change is very uncomfortable for anybody in many situations. And inevitably we have change in different seasons of our lives.
Right. And that's going to happen. But some people think it doesn't happen. You know, we're going to stay the same way from this age 20. We're going to be the same way when we're 30.
Not at all. That's so far. Ideally, we will want to grow, change, and evolve.
Let me go ahead and put this number back up here. So,
hello, Mr. Green.
No. So as far as are you seeing, because of the pandemic, do you see more people, not necessarily just coming to you, but do you think more people are going to seek counseling now?
Definitely. I would say an increase because you're stuck in with yourself. Well, at the beginning of the pandemic, because you know, here in Houston and Texas, we open wide up.
All open.
So, but those who have stayed true to like being quarantined or even initially, like a lot of people dealing with themselves, their own thought process, dealing with those demons or those feelings of depression that we kept subsiding or that anxiety, like it came, or some people who didn't have mental health issues, but dealing with the anxiety of the uncertainty about COVID. Like that's a whole stressful situation. And a lot of people process that different. And a lot of us, our environment and stuff, that didn't really train us to prepare for a national pandemic, to be isolated. Like a lot of people, we didn't know how to cope with that. Uncertainty about employment. Like it was a lot.
Right. So now I'm gonna go deeper with it. So with the pandemic happening, right? Let's say a lot of women who were probably in severe relationships. You know what I'm saying? Who were probably trying to plan to get out of that relationship, but the pandemic made them have to stay now.
Even outside of that, like there was a spike in domestic violence and domestic disputes during the time of the pandemic. That spouse that you really don't like or get on your nerves, we're not going to work, so we really don't have to see each other. So we're stuck in the house. These kids getting on both of our nerves, so that's an extra layer. Like one of us might lose a job, like even statistically.
Okay, somebody popped on in now.
Hey, come and talk to us.
Somebody on floor. All right, I got my screen. Touch my screen back now. I got him though.
Call back. We'll be here.
I got him.
Oh, you didn't hang up. Oh, come on, yes, with the call back.
Yo,
who we got on the line right here?
It's good out of Don Craft.
Come on, DC. What's going on, baby? Shouts out for the Craft.
You did say he was going to bring up conversation.
Listen, Craft had one is a man of great conversation. One, you know what I'm saying? You rarely find, and it's sad, you rarely find men that can conversate.
That's what we talked about last time, being open with your communication and communicating with your friends and other males. That was the topic last time.
And that's definitely a strength I see in him. You know what I'm saying? He's able to communicate, you know what I'm saying? Like manly, which is a great thing. Because like I said, a lot of men cannot do it. And they just don't do it for whatever reason. What you got, DC? Talk to me, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So look, I was trying to type it in, but apparently it's too much to type. So I think for me, growing up how I grew up, I think it all goes to awareness, right? So no one actually thinks that mental health is an issue. You know, growing up, we've been around people where we just said we're not gonna hang around them because they act funny. You know what I mean? And that may be more than our parents really wanted to take us to the doctor unless they saw blood. You know what I mean?
True, very true.
They would always say, man, we're not going to no doctor. Go sit down. Let me put some ice on it or do whatever, do whatever. I think it just people need to have awareness of mental health instead of just thinking like, oh, someone acts funny. And people just have to have that space to voice their opinion.
And I think
growing up as a Go ahead.
I think you said something that wasn't great with what was Miss Perry. What she was saying is that, like you said, whenever you fall and get a bruise, it's like, go sit down, be quiet. Like you're not even allowed to express that emotion or that feeling. So if we're getting taught that at a young age, and I'm like actually physically hurt, and I'm told to suppress myself, what y'all gonna say if I tell you that like my mood is off? Like if I can't even get enough sympathy or have a conversation when I'm physically hurt. And again, that's back to some of those things you said, like at a young age, it can be so impactful about how we communicate.
Right. And I think that's where it starts. And, I try to, for my children, there's a fine line, right? There's a fine line of letting them express themselves versus when they're going overboard. I personally try to allow them to express themselves no matter what it is. Okay, you don't like that? Tell me why you don't like that. You know what I mean? It's not
That's
just
fair.
about, I want to understand what it is they're feeling, and I want them to be able to communicate when they dislike something or they're feeling a certain way. I don't want them to just give me the right answer. And I think it's all about kind of just voicing your opinion. Like if you don't like it,
for better relationships, because we don't understand that communication is a foundation of any and every relationship, romantic relationship, work relationship, friendship. So I think even parenting dynamics, sibling dynamics, like communication is the foundation of all of those.
I agree. I think communication is key. I just really wanted to tap in because I jumped in late, but I love this topic because I'm just really just getting into who I am as a person, right? So, and really attacking my mental health and knowing how important it is,
Definitely.
and so that's why I love this topic, because people need to be able to know that they can express themselves without any repercussions. You know what I mean? And so I think that is definitely key. I love the topic, and I'm going to stay tuned and I'm going to listen in.
Thank you so much.
Hey, can I ask you something real quick, Don?
Yes, sir.
Before you jump off?
Yes, sir.
So you said that. So you're starting to identify with yourself, right? From what you just said. So what brought it about? Was it something just inherently inside of you, or was it something that you just, because you looked at your kids and you said, hey, no, like what was the thing?
I think for me, B, is really about getting around genuine people, and shout out to you. And shout out to the whole.
Hit the damn button. You don't make me hit that damn button now.
Go ahead on.
See, you know the shout. You know the shout out do now.
Yeah, and I think it's really just about knowing, kind of breaking the chains of knowing that your parents are your parents. They're doing the best job that they can, but they damage us mentally by having that scarcity mindset versus an abundant mindset. And I think once you have an abundant mindset, to me, it changes your life and it changes your world. It was just, me still, because growing up, you think your parents know everything, right? And as you get older and you start researching yourself and you start doing things yourself, you was like, man, my mama didn't know everything. She was just doing the best that she could.
Right.
She was naive to some things, but it's you got to get outside the box, really. I mean, it all boils down to getting outside the box and really being focused on what you feel in certain moments, even to the people around you that make you feel a certain way. If you really tap into that and pay attention to it, you'll get the signs, because to me, your spirit will move, your energy will move. Right. You'll be around people. You be like, man, how come every time they come around, I get this little feeling in my stomach? I think that has everything to do with it. So I'm really trying to attack my mental health as well.
And I want to double back to something that you said kind of about how your thinking kind of controls your mood and your interactions. And I think a lot of people underestimate that, especially knowing how much we get caught up in our head. So to be aware of like what we are thinking about and what we are giving energy to.
Well,
and that's important.
I'll tell you this right here, man. I give you damn shout out for being a man's man and able to to get up here and say this about yourself, man. Because I'm telling you, man, it's my thing is, there's such a big stigma on, mental, health, period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's been that way since I've been a little boy, man. And so it's like at this point in my life, like something has to change and something has to happen now. Like, and it goes back to me saying, we'll look at Instagram and everything else is out here. And if some girls right here with some little shorts on, or some dudes with a little no shirt on, everybody's on it. Right. They're pushing hearts and everything like that. But stuff that affects everybody, brother. And like I said, I don't care who it is. We all got something. I don't care who it is. We all got something.
Life has definitely been stressful.
And it's just what it is.
A lot of it, not to cut you off, lot of it is assumption though. I think a lot of it is self-inflicted.
Talk to me about
that. Because of social media, right?
Right.
And we see the glitz, we see the glamour, but we don't understand the process. And our assumptions make us, our assumptions will cause a lot of mental health, and our assumptions give us anxiety. Or so it goes so much deeper than that, because you can't just assume that everybody is as successful as you see them.
Right.
You know what I mean? It may be, but social media plays a big role in that for me. And I think it goes back to awareness, just understanding what mental health is, because there is a stigma out there. People think, to go talk to someone, that means, hey, you 2 seconds from being in a loony house.
Ooh.
Exactly.
When it can really just be, hey, man, come in and tell me how your week was. What happened, get it off your chest. Right. And I think if people knew, tell me what you can't tell your wife, or tell me what you can't tell your boyfriend or your husband. You know what I'm saying? How are you feeling? And I think people are kind of understand that, because where I grew up at, it was like, man, if you're going to see somebody for your mental health, you 2 seconds away from being in a lonely house.
Something wrong.
But no, it's not about that.
It's not.
Right.
It's actually to keep your mental health sane.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
It's like maintenance, just like you go to the doctor. This is just like maintenance. And I think that, you know, the more that people begin to have these conversations, that hopefully they'll be more open to it.
Right. And so how do we break this?
I think it's kind of like the first thing we said. Like again, I'll let.
I'm sorry, I was asking down on the piece right there.
My bad.
Oh yeah, I mean, I kind of, I think doing what you're doing now,
right?
You know, just putting a face to it. You know what I mean? Because for us, you know, I mean, as far as I can remember, you know, me having someone to check on my mental health is going to be 60, gray hair, you know, with a pad on their knee. You know what I mean? So I think we just need to take advantage of the demographic and seeing people, you know, like on the stage that you are like, nah, mental health is cool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You need to have a check-in. You need to do your maintenance. You know, but you know, we see the movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's all we know. And I think it's all about bringing awareness, man, and bringing it to the community and having kids, you know, maybe doing something, having kids, go talk to a therapist.
Right.
Or having teenagers, hey, sit down. This is what this is about. Mental health. How are you feeling? So mental health ain't, you know, no jacket, no straight jacket. Mental health is telling me how your week went and venting and telling me the things that you didn't like, the things you did like, and what you're going to do to be a better person, you know, and not keeping things bottled in. For me, it just all goes back to awareness.
So how do you think your kids are going to view mental health? Like, so what are you things you think you and your wife are doing? Because y'all do phenomenal things. So what are the things that you and your wife are doing to ensure that your kids grow up understanding that there's nothing wrong, there's not a stigma with this?
I think just giving them a voice, you know what I mean, and letting them know that, hey, if you're going through something that you can't tell me, it's okay to reach out to somebody else. Right. Like, you have a voice. At the end of the day, you may be young, but you are your own person. If you feel like there's things that you can't communicate to me or your mother, then we may need to get you somebody to talk to. But not making them think that if they give the wrong answer, it's going to be a problem. You know what I'm saying? So we do give them a voice, letting them know, you know, at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you right from wrong as I see it, but you do have an opinion.
Man, that's powerful right there. You selling luxury homes and you dropping jewels on the
on luxury homes.
How you doing all this stuff, man? You know, but you know what?
Just hanging around G5.
No. Hey, you know what's funny though, Don? And I picked this up when you was on the show. When you even made a comment, you're saying that, hey, when you were when you are out there with clients, it's almost like you have to be a counselor at the same time.
Yes, sir.
Because there's some differences in opinions and the difference in the way one individual came up, you know. So, you know, those are some things there, you know, saying within itself.
I agree. I agree. You got to be a therapist, man. You have to be a therapist. Some things tend to come out as well. Sometimes that they needed to, if they would have did their mental check-in, that wouldn't have came out while y'all was here with me. That would have came out at the house. You know? You know what I mean? So, but yeah, most definitely, man. I love this topic because as I'm tapping in, you know, I love to be around and I love watching it and speaking on it. So,
hey,
for
man.
sure.
Well, you know, definitely as always, I appreciate you calling in, man. I really do, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all have a great evening, and I'm locked in.
Okay.
I'm gonna continue watching.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. So that's great right there. You know what I'm saying?
I love it, and I think that it's awesome coming from a male too, as well, to kind of normalize, and like you said, it's kind of opening up the floor and having conversations like this.
Okay, I got something in here for Tony. He's about to pop up here on the screen right there. If you don't mind taking a stab at that once it pops up.
Dawn, you just took the words right out of my mouth. When some folks hear mental health, they think crazy house. Exactly.
And they do. And they do. And it's so sad. Because
even like when you say, I'm going to talk to the therapist. Why? What's going on with you?
Right. You don't need to talk to nobody. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Did you pray about it?
There you go. Right. Unless a check was associated with it. Because me coming up back in the days when we, you know, these hospitals, right? You know, and all the communities have them, especially on your side of town or somewhere, that we knew who was getting the checks, right? And we knew who was in and out of those places right there, right? And so what happened was, I think the stigma comes from me coming up is this right here. Anytime that we associated mental anything. That's the word mental. It was what they would say was the crazy house. That was it. You know, anybody mental, hey, that ain't me. But no, bro, we all grew up in a trauma state. You know what I'm saying?
Even right now, just being an African American in today's society is stressful and traumatic.
Ooh.
Like watching the news daily, trauma.
All the time, right?
Yes.
You know, so anyway, so you grow up and you see this and you listen to this, and so this becomes part of your system. I'm talking about Brian. This became part of my system. You know what I'm saying? I understood that if you went to, if this was a situation where you're going to wind up in the crazy house, you know what I'm saying? This right here. So if you have any problems, if you ever talk to yourself, you know what I'm saying? Because you see them walk up down the street, they talking to themselves, they go get locked up. Can't talk to yourself. You can't do anything. You can't have an extra imagination. You can't do any of these things.
You have to fit the norm,
right?
Even though nobody can define what that really is,
right? You know what I'm saying? Even like and here's a big one right here. Kenzie says, we go to church, not therapy.
Exactly, but God,
shout out. This is what our community does.
That's true, but also I think that you can use the Bible twofold. God said faith without works is not dead. So you wouldn't have people out here to help and to work because we can't just fix it all ourselves.
Right. No, I think what she's saying is.
Oh, no, I agree. That is how we were brought up.
Okay.
But hopefully now we're learning to break that stigma of that, like, yes, church, you can pray, but you could also go to therapy.
Right.
You could do both. You can be religious and still actually proactively work towards your mental health.
Right. So we have a young lady in the building right now. Is your mic working? Pull that mic to him. Okay, yeah.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah, hey, tilt it up a little bit. All right, there. All right. Also, so we have a surprise guest in here. Young lady, very dear to my heart. You know what I'm saying? She's dear to my godson's heart, so that means she's dear to my heart. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it works. Could you tell her about your name and who you are?
Yes, this is Mariah.
Okay, you gotta get on that, Mariah. Don't start playing. You already know the deal with these mics now.
I know you gotta come up to it.
Yeah, you gotta come up to the mic. You know what I'm saying? So who are you?
Yes, I'm Mariah.
Okay, Mariah
Brown.
Okay, Mariah Brown, MB in the building. So what do you do, Mariah?
So right now I am a senior over at University of Houston.
Oh, shout out! She at school, the great University of Houston. That's what she's doing. She's a senior, and she's what's your major?
I'm majoring in biology.
She's majoring in biology. Everybody, okay.
Nice.
All right. So now this is the reason why. So we can all go back to times when we were younger and we was in school and all the stuff like that, and how we felt during certain things, right? But the problem is sometimes we always relate what happened to us and how we thought at that time period. And what we're not doing is we're not thinking about the people who are currently going through things at that time period. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't put everything that we went through and everything that we could handle at that time, and we put it on our children. You know what I'm saying? Which is not cool. Okay, this becomes a stress for these kids. You know what I'm saying? You
Definitely,
know, because we put in, well, they should be able to handle this because I handle it. No.
Or you got to be better than me because I made all these sacrifices.
There you go. So my thing, I just feel that we need to ask, you know what I'm saying, how people feel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and not just where they're at this point in life. Okay, so you say you're biology major, right? When you first started college, what did you want to be?
Going into college, I'm thinking, I'm gonna go through here, just coast through here, graduate,
and be
biology, become an anesthesiologist, go to medical school, rack up on them student loans.
There you go, rack up on them, right? Rack up on them, right? So so year 2 hits, and what happens?
Even within the first year, I'm like, oh, do I want to do this? I failed my first test. I'm like, I'm not used to that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
because why was high school pretty easy for you?
High school, I would say it was challenging for me a little bit. I went to a different type of high school. Like, we didn't have sports. We just school oriented, and it was a program to where you would graduate with your associate's degree.
Okay.
Along with your high school diploma. So
got it.
It was just straight academics.
Academics. Okay, got it. Academic. Okay.
And so going into college, I'm thinking, okay, all I got to do is just study. Every now and then, not vigorously, but just a little bit, and now hopefully I'll pass.
Okay,
that wasn't the case.
Okay, well, and why do you think it wasn't the case?
So you kind of go in there with high hopes, thinking if you do the same thing that you did back in high school, you will easily just coast along. You're not even just doing just great, but you just at least pass. Right. But that didn't go as planned. I learned that it's okay to fail, but you have to also put in the work and kind of also get help outside of the class, because the lectures, they're not going to be the best help.
Yeah, because they're just lectures. Like,
yeah, they just there to
they're putting information out.
Yeah,
you can be in there if you want to, lecture all you want to. Ain't nobody trying to recap nothing with you, right?
Yeah.
So now, do you think just as do you think there's stresses that are associated with that? Because now you go from a society where you were really just kind of making it, you know, because you were just handling businesses. Now you're in school and, okay, hold up, I ain't passed the test. You know what I'm saying? I'm not used to that right there.
Yeah. So with that, I would say,
and not just you. I'm just saying, just students in general. Just period. Some of your peers. You know what I'm saying? What are some things you probably notice about some of your peers? Were they like stressing out? Like, oh man, I can't go home. I can't tell, you know, mom or dad, I'm sucking right now. You know, and who do they turn to? Who do they talk to?
Yeah, everyone is pretty much stressed out. So everybody's just kind of usually, well, where I was at in the dorms, everybody would just kind of be in little study areas, trying to get everything, basically cramming for the test.
Right.
And also, I would say we also have RAs, but I didn't really talk to my RA.
Right.
But they're there to help.
Right.
I know some people have wanted their RAs.
So what made you not go talk to your RA? And the reason why I'm trying to build a pattern is try to understand even myself at your age. You know what I'm saying, like, why did I think this way? You feel what I'm saying? So the RA was there, but you said you chose not to talk to him.
Yeah, I don't think I could relate to her. I didn't think we were compatible.
So you see a pattern starting, right? Do you see a pattern? And this is just something that we all go through. You said earlier, when we get hurt, you know what I'm saying, when we're younger, physically hurt, go sit down, put some ice on it, go take a nap. Couldn't go see a doctor, your knee bleeding all over the place, right? You know, and that's physical. You know what I'm saying? So now, even this right here, this is not physical. This is mental at this point. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because something has failed, and now mentally, like, oh man.
But I think that she hit a big part, and I think it's a lot of things that a lot of African American people face. Or I'm assuming that it might have been somebody of the opposite race, and that's why it might have been hard for you to identify with them.
Yeah.
And I know that for me, even in the being a therapist, that's a lot of whenever people call, well, I just searched for the first Black therapist, or I just wanted like somebody who could identify with me. So that's kind of the first thing that came to my mind is like, if I'm having this struggle that like, even a race thing, being a minority in a school, I'm not going to go to the happy-go-lucky white RA and be like, oh my gosh, let me tell you my problems.
Exactly. Yeah.
So in that same thought process, do you think that people will still associate it with anything then? And what I'm saying is this right here. So just like you sit and said, okay, well, if I can't find somebody who looks like me, am I really just making an excuse? Because I really don't want to see anybody, but I'm going to use that as a crutch. And I still never go see anybody. It
could be a crutch, but I also think it's a very valid point. Let me give an example that a client had gave me a while ago. Okay. You know, in a Black community, we got a lot of aunties that like aren't really biologically our aunts. Okay. So she was talking to a white therapist about kind of some struggles in her family dynamic. Right. But she had to spend the time to explain about how this was my aunt, but it's not my aunt. Right. And then that's taken away from their time in the therapy experience because I'm using this to educate you, but this is supposed to be my time. Or even if we're thinking about using slang terminology, which a lot of us do, like that's one thing I emphasize to my clients is be yourself. However you talk out in public, talk like that here, because I'm gonna keep it the same. Like how I talk, like that's how I'm gonna talk to you in session. Right. So if I'm using a slang term, but I'm talking to like an older white lady or a male, they don't know what I'm talking about.
Right. But see, then does it, and I'm just saying this, does this fall on the professional as well to kind of like, hey, you know what? Hey, I can help you. It's kind of like a different type of attorney, right? I can help you with, no, I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, I get it.
Do you think this could also be, I'm not on any side, okay? Just one thing. Yeah. I'm just trying to look for the solution.
I know that we do a lot of multicultural training,
right?
But I think that experience is a whole different breed. Right. Like if you were to ask me to identify
should a professional be like, hey, you know what? Hey, okay, I think I know somebody could probably best help you.
Like refer out,
right? That's what I'm saying.
100%. And that's what we're ethically supposed to do. Is refer.
Yeah, that's what I was
supposed to do that.
So, go ahead.
But again, I know that for me, I've ethically worked with people that I can't identify with, but I think in some cases I have been beneficial. Some cases I haven't. Like I was working with a contract where I was next to straight Jesuit, which is like, you know, a very privileged white school. Okay. They're mad because I'm grounded, or like mom won't buy me like this new MacBook. I'm like, I I can't really feel your pain, you know? So some stuff we're just unable to identify. But yet if you have a young Black woman like, oh, my mama getting on my nerves, putting pressure on me to figure out what I should major in or what I'm gonna do next, like I can identify with that experience because if I personally been through it or I've seen people around me who have been through it versus like somebody spoiled because I can't get the newest iPhone.
Okay.
I've never really experienced that for me, but that doesn't still mean I can't be beneficial to them per se.
Right. And I don't.
But that's just not like my preference. But I get that's what I'm saying. I think that in some instances where therapists might think that they're being helpful and attempting to identify, but they might not be in that. It might be a time when you're saying that they need to ethically just maybe refer out.
Right. Okay. So at that point, you say you didn't talk to the individual, right? So you just kind of dealt with yourself. You just dealt with it. Did you go seek out somebody that might be all right, they could possibly help you, or did you just say, all right, I'll just deal with it?
I just thought that I could just get along with it and just find out if I could find something along the way. I didn't think that I need to reach out for help or anything. Right. I was just like, I'll just figure it out.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's get on to junior year. So junior year, you still have the focus of, okay, I want to be what would you want to be? Anesthesiologist? You still had the same focus? Or were you kind of going back
different? And forth? I was like, I don't think I want to do medical school. Okay. I don't think I would be comfortable with trying to live off of student loans. And then on top of that, and I didn't think that was the right path for me.
Okay. All
right. So by that time, I was thinking about becoming a physician's assistant. Okay. I thought that was a little less rigorous for me. And so I was like, okay, I could try that. If I don't like it, I could do something else since it's not too much of a commitment. So I thought about that. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just kind of naming out stuff at this point just because I'm getting a degree in biology, so it needs to be something medical related. So that's how I kind of figured out that maybe I should try to look into something else.
Okay. All right.
And also, like, not to place blame anywhere. I think that a lot of the school systems, and I'm sure it's probably gotten worse since COVID, I don't think they equip people for that. Like, I remember when I was in school, like, we had advisors, but they never really, like, talked to us like, hey, these are your possible career options. Like, whenever I went to school for criminal justice, it was just like, okay, you could be a lawyer or work at the jail. Right. And then, like, as I got older, it's like, no, there's actually a lot more that you could do with your degree. Like, I don't feel like schools or universities, like, train people for, like, post-grad. It's like a lot of just hurry and get, like, I'm gonna help you get these credits or figure out how to connect the dots to get you out of here so that we have a high graduation rate or a high success rate versus like, hey, let's see what you really need to do or what classes you really need to take to prepare you for the future, or these are your options possibly for the future, because a lot of times we really just don't know.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, some of the times, like meeting with the advisor, they be like, do you think you should change your major? Like they don't even consider the thought that maybe you may have a different interest. They just think, oh, maybe you should do another major so you can graduate.
Right.
Kind of just
you have enough credits to go ahead on and graduate with this one. Is this what you want to do?
Okay, so now where are you at this point now? So now you're a senior. You know what I'm saying? You got that shout out to be a senior. Pushing it out, doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. So the world is next door, right? The world is next door. You know what I'm saying?
Adult life.
Student loans are next door. You know what I'm saying? Right? You know, and they're coming. And so that brings another set of pressures, right?
It does.
Just life pressures, right? So what are those thoughts now? You know what I'm saying? Or what do you, not even just you, but what do you think a lot of seniors are thinking right now, especially with the pandemic being the way it is? You know, what direction should they go? Are they going to have the money to be able to pay these student loans? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You know, it presents pressures on it.
It does. So we're like in a group meeting, like for all of our classes.
Okay.
We don't really meet in class anymore. So everybody is pretty much just kind of coasted along. They're like, oh, I don't think I'm going to pass this semester because everything is online. Right. You get on the Zoom calls. Your teacher in and out. She don't know how to work the Zoom call. I didn't even meet with one of my professors the whole semester. She didn't even give us a syllabus. Nothing. Nothing.
You passed class?
I passed that class.
Yeah, shout out.
What they going?
You can't fail me. It might be time to stay in school. Like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you can't fail me if you ain't gonna show up.
That's
teacher.
what I'm like. What could she have said?
Right.
No, I passed that class. But it's definitely a lot of pressure. Like I can tell that a lot of other students are working jobs instead of attending lectures, like myself.
Right.
So I would say that I would say the pressures are a lot heavier. Because you're not getting that interaction in the class. You're not getting help from like the person next to you that could probably explain a problem going on in the class. So it's very complicated because you're not sure what to do, who to go to. You're not sure if the TA is going to be any help. So,
well, let me ask you this right here. So what age range are you in right now?
Right now, 21.
21. Okay. So a 21-year-old, 21, 22 years old, right? So what is the conversation in your age group as far as when people think about people who have therapists or they go seek counseling and stuff like that? What are the thoughts with your peer group?
I would say in my peer group, they're actually becoming a lot more open to it.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that they are totally against it. They definitely are more intact with how they're feeling and how to get help about it.
Okay.
I would definitely say that. And we're just kind of like not really taking all the advice from my parents. We're just kind of taking pieces and bits of it and just kind of also taking that and figuring it out ourselves.
Okay. So y'all are, would you say that your peer group, y'all more receptive to seeking outside, you know what I'm saying, seeking counseling or talking to people, stuff like that, where maybe like the parents weren't or aren't, you know what I'm saying? You know, and I can say, my youngest daughter, you know, my son, he's 19. Yesterday, his birthday was, shout out to Dan Brown. His birthday was yesterday. He turned 19. He's Cash App is strong. Strong Cash App. Okay. But you know, and so when I look at that and I try to think of, you know what I'm saying, my kids, and you know, with having kids at different age ranges, it's a good thing because one, you know, you can kind of watch yourself through your kids, right? And how you were during this time period and how you were at this time period and this time period, right? And you know, of course, we soften up as we get, you know what I'm saying, a little older, we get a little soft, you know, or we probably, I think it's we don't get soft. I think we understand more. That's what I call it. We just understand more, and maybe we'd been a little more. We'll grab you when the first kid to get grabbed, with the last kid to be like, "Well, you come on now, get over here." It's more like that because we kind of learned about ourselves, and they probably was self-counseling. You know what I'm saying? That could have happened. You know, we could have self-counseled ourselves. So, and I think because it falls into, you know, like Brian falls into your age. You know Brian well anyway. So that more in touch with the feelings. You know what I'm saying? I would say in some cases, you know, I don't know, but this one right here, he ain't even touch his feelings. You know what I'm saying? He's a little different. He kind of skipped.
Y'all said no at the same.
No. He's gonna come on the mic here in a minute too. He's gonna come on the mic here in a minute.
You shook your head. He shook his head. I was like clockwork. Like, oh, okay.
It's real talk.
It's a strong no.
It's real talk though, and sometimes it's just really based off of what we've seen and what we're exposed to. You know what I'm saying? And how we are.
But then also too, I mean, I guess whenever he gets on the mic, if he does, I mean, you could ask him the question we had earlier. Is it based on your environment of the fact of why you don't express your emotions, or because that's been a topic that we've been bringing up, is kind of how much of this is learned behavior from our environment, or how much of this is just that we just developed ourselves.
Okay. We got something. Let me see what Kenzie said here. I'll come back to Steve Whip in a second. But on Kenzie, she said, I've tried a different therapist for a year. Nope, didn't work. I was constantly told what worked for her. And you know what? That happens a lot. And I think that happens with inexperience.
I would agree.
Inexperience. That's what I think. And I don't care how seasoned somebody is. When they start talking about them and how, you going the wrong way with me then, Pippin.
And that's one thing I emphasize to my clients. Do not come to counseling expecting me to tell you what to do or expecting you to tell you what decisions to make. I'm basically here as an unbiased person to bounce ideas off, to remind you what your initial goal is. So I hate that you've had that experience because, again, counselors should not be discussing themselves at that point or what they should do. At that point, they should probably seek assistance.
Right. They should. Shout out to me telling the therapist they need to go see a therapist.
Nah, it's real life. Yes.
But therapists do need to see therapists.
We have to have an outlet
they people
as
too.
well. Yeah. Because so much.
Because one, you got to think about it. You're taking in a lot of people's stuff daily. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine if you go home to booed up. You let's say me and Leah together. She up there just in getting the work in during the daytime, just bringing 9 appointments. Now she come home, and here she is with all that weight on her. What you doing? Like, hell no. Don't come in with all that mess right here. You better take that back.
Have some crab legs ready
for
me. I'll be
you
happy.
Feel what I'm saying? Then she like want to sit there and eat crab legs all night and no conversation. You gonna talk to me?
Make me
happy. You gonna talk to me tonight? You know what I'm saying? But
that's with any job though. That's why I think that it's big on like decompressing. Like even for me in between my clients, I take a 15-minute break between each session, outside to get like water and stuff like that. But to even just kind of release that and be fresh and alert. And I think that people, even like when you're working a 9 to 5, using that drive home or whenever you get home, using like maybe 5 to 10 minutes to just decompress and clear your mind before you have to take on like evening life, adulting, like my next shift of work, my next shift of parenting. Like I think that a lot of people should really take that time to decompress because we go so much.
Right. Hey, can you read that comment right there?
Can you move your head a bit? Thank you. I remember being in college. You feel alone, and after bottling everything, it made me super anxious, like I needed to succeed now. Definitely.
So what's your thought? What's your thoughts to old Steve on that comment right there?
I mean, I can speak on my personal opinion. I think I would agree and say yes, because for me, there was a lot of pressures. Like I'm on financial aid. So if I don't finish or if I fail a class, like, oh, that's more money. That's my mom and them saying like, girl, you don't pass that class or, we ain't got too much more money. You need to come on and, get ready to wrap this up. Like, so for me, I would definitely agree. It made it feel anxious. And with that being said, sometimes it made it harder to study because I just got off the phone with my mama and she talking about these grades and what we going to do in financial aid. And then I got to sit here and try to read like 10 pages. Like my mind would be like, ugh, what y'all doing over there? Like I would just be ready to hang out with my friends because I'm like my brain. But I definitely understand. And there is the pressure of being successful. And I think even it's more pressure at the stage where you're at, like being a senior where it's like, okay, I did this. I'm feeling so accomplished, but then I'm feeling so inferior because like, I don't know what to do like for career. I don't know what to do in the adult world or like, I don't know what my next step is. And it's like that pressure of like, well, you need to make something shake quickly. Like there's that pressure of that. Like,
so true.
And I mean, I know I went through that like whenever I had school and I had to take like a year off after I finished my undergrad because I legit didn't know which direction I wanted to go. Like I went to school thinking I'm about to be a lawyer, the next female Johnny Cochran. And like, if you would have asked me like when I graduated, that was I going to be a therapist? Like, nah, I'm about to be a lawyer or I'm going to be a juvenile probation officer. And then like life happened and I figured out, hey, my interests are actually not there.
That's deep right there. That's real deep.
It's life.
That's deep right there. Shit, that's so deep. I'm not gonna give one of them damn applause right there. Y'all better soak that up. You go back to shit. I don't know the 1 hour 13 minutes and 36 second time stamp.
I love Monique's comment.
What'd she say?
I love this upcoming generation's consideration of their mental health and its impact. Yes, I would definitely say that a lot more of like the millennials and I forget the generation after that. I think they're a lot more open to mental health and like self-discovery. And I think that that's like dope. And I think for us, some of us are like, we're to the point of where like we put our mental health kind of first over like being overworked and things like that versus like older generations. They're like, well, work and then mental health second. I think that that's starting to shift a little bit in the generations, which to some extent I think is great because if you're like really mentally depleted, how can you be successful? Or how can you even be living your life to the fullest? It's only so much that like work and money could do to bring true happiness.
But I think what a lot of people do, especially the older generation, they will work, right? And they will be successful in the work side of it. But their life after on the other side of work is
their relationship with their kids,
no relationship,
their intimacy, their friendship lives. If you're at work so much, how can you develop? And that people underestimate how important companionship is, or like interactions with other people. Like again, that's why COVID was hard for some people because that we need that like interaction and like communication with other people is very imperative.
And it's so sad, right? That. I guess and I don't know if it's the Instagram wave or whatever the wave is, but people are so caught up on being the riches of riches, right? That they're totally neglecting anything about just being well in any type of way, physically. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't talk about it right now, but the physical state of people is horrible right now. Like it's horrible because there's no really fitness is not promoted anymore. We know what's promoted. What's promoted right now?
A lifestyle. Basically, like a lot of people are getting these surgeries.
Going under the table.
Going on the table. That is what's promoted.
Posting like we work.
Everybody wears a strap around their stomach, right? But it's just because they just had a surgery. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you could wear those without having surgery.
No, I know you can, but you get what I'm saying.
But no, everybody is getting their body.
This is what promoted right now.
And then it makes it hard to compare because we're on there comparing ourselves to these bodies that have been sculpted by doctors, and we're comparing like our average natural bodies, in which like that's completely unfair. And like they already got like 10 up on us.
Drink this right here, you can look like this. No, the knife and scalpel and the doctor you use, you can look like that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? The false narratives are just rampant right now, and that's causing some issues in people.
Even outside of physical,
young girls are hurting themselves and killing themselves because they can't look a certain way, or they feel like they're being shamed because you know what? They go through high school now. All their friends can get surgery, but they can't get surgery. So now when they go on summer trip, guess what? Everybody's surgery down, and they're the one who couldn't get surgery because their mother or father couldn't afford it.
Even outside of that, like the whole custom of like wearing designer or things like that, like there's this whole thing where there's this experience like where you can go take that picture on a jet so you can look like you're cool, but like the jet never moves. Like you just pay for that experience of having that to post on Instagram to make it seem that's
a business now.
It's even like a studio. Like
hold up,
people want to
shout out to hold up. Somebody was smart enough to say. Listen, that might save somebody.
If you want to look cool on social media, like you just got on the jet, come here. You could have it for 30 minutes, do a photo shoot, and go about your business.
That was somebody y'all age range thought about this shit. Somebody from y'all's year group came up with that business.
But everybody wants to look cool. Everybody wants to fit in. Like that's how clubs sell. You make them look like they're so packed. Like
there's some pressures out here for people. You know what I'm saying? But I think these pressures probably fall for a lot of you know what? No, it don't. No, it don't. Because some older people going through this shit.
Exactly.
They're going through it. You know what I'm saying? And I see it a lot of cases with, and I'm not picking on females, but I'm just saying a lot of older females are hanging out with all these young females right now. And they're trying to look just like these young females. And it's like, yo, you know, like really, they like 50 and you 20, you 25 and you 27, you hanging with this. You hanging out with these young girls and you're doing everything they're doing. It's like, dude, you're not that.
But again, it's the thing of trying to keep up.
That's like pressure, ain't it?
I mean, I don't know, my mom tuned in. But she get everything off Facebook too, whether it's the family scoop, the newest thing, like that, and she about to be 60 and she be on Facebook like it ain't nobody's business.
I tell people, get off that damn Facebook. Listen, mama, what's wrong with that?
Tina.
Tina, get off that Facebook, girl. Listen, don't get on Facebook. That Facebook ain't good for you. I'm trying to tell you. I was in Alabama telling people I ain't even on Facebook. Don't get on that Facebook. It ain't no good.
It's informative sometimes, though. Yeah,
see, you
it's informative.
That's why Tina on the daggone Facebook right now. Because
it is informative.
You saying one thing.
No, but if we think about it, like nowadays you'll see something on Facebook or Instagram before like it's on the news. Like, you know, that's like it's like real lifetime sometimes that the internet be
we need to find
stuff.
something up. Hey, Tina's phone number is area code 515-222-2222. You don't have to look at Facebook. Call Tina and she will let you know everything that's going on Facebook and any news that comes out. If you don't need to know, you can just talk to her daughter at any time. Book a consultation, she can let you know what's going on in the world. Yes. Right? That's what can happen. No. Let's see what Kenzie said. She said, this is why we have to pray for the mental health of our therapists as well. That's a lot to carry, and salute to you guys. And you're 100% right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all.
But I feel like too, like even as I advocate for my clients, like I'm big on self-care. Like Thursdays, I don't work. Sundays, I don't work. Cause you know, those are my days to kind of regroup and reset myself.
Right.
And, you know, do my self-care stuff so that I can make sure that I'm fully present for my clients. Or even small things like I don't take clients after 5 because I'm a mom. So, you know, I want to be present for my son. Like I don't start clients until like 9. So I can take him to school, have time to take myself to the gym and start my day off properly if I want to make breakfast and stuff. So it's putting those small things in place so that I'm not reaching burnout or I'm not. And then also, of course, you know, the natural therapy, prayer, sleep. I think a lot of people underestimate how important sleep is with your mood.
Tony M said, yet some spend $1,000 for a pair of sneakers and not care of the quality of water they drink.
They need to get them that some 1187 water.
86. Get them numbers right there. I don't know what say 87 is. She think about 187. That's what she thinking about. You know what I'm saying?
But that is true, because again, back to, I think it was Sony who said this too, that people like, oh my God, therapy is so expensive. But it's like you popping bottles, you buying fancy shoes. Like, what's up for, like, what's that to comparison for your mental health?
Right. What do they do? You know what I'm saying? What do they do? Let's see what we got right here. All right. Going to the phone lines right here. Then we got Kenzie coming in on this right here. See what's going on.
Oh my God, this seafood smells so good. Make me want to attack it. That the food is smelling so good.
Shout out to the biz right here. Who do we have on the line?
Kenzie Gray, the SLP.
Ooh, this is Kenzie right here. This is Kenzie. What's going on, Kenzie? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing on this terrific Tuesday?
Hey, I see that you're very active here on the comments here. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to reach out to you and get some of your thoughts, because as you know, Kenzie will be on the show, everybody. She'll be on the show next week. And but so what are some thoughts you got?
We were talking about the health of mental health therapists, and I think it's very important that we include them in our prayers. A lot of times in churches, we are told to include our pastors in our prayers, but I think it's also very important to include our mental health specialists in our prayers, because that's a very heavy weight to carry. They carry a lot, and it's difficult to go home and leave it at the job whenever you genuinely care for your patients and your clients that you're dealing with and that you're treating. So I think it's very important to pray for their own mental stability and health and wellness as well, because you know, it's hard to separate those things when you genuinely care for someone, and when you're kind of like the person who's responsible and in the driver's seat of their ability to get well, or their ability to improve, or giving them recommendations or strategies or what have you. So I think that's very, very important.
So you had a comment earlier. Also, I don't know if I can scroll back and see what it was, but it was in regards to why do you think there's such a big stigma when it comes to mental health?
In our community especially, I feel the stigma is surrounded by the fact that our parents did with us the best that they could, right? But it was never preached to them or taught to them, hey, it's okay to talk to someone if you're feeling this way, or it's okay to get help if you're feeling that way. If you can't, for our ancestors or the people who raised us, it was basically, well, if I can't see your pain, if I can't see that something is physically wrong with you,
right,
then you're fine. Go to church and pray about it. Going to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist is for the people, like my mom and grandmother would say, for the people who belong in the rooms with the padded walls. That's not for you. You know, you're not bipolar. You're not schizophrenic. When come to find out, I do have a line of folks in my genetics who do have bipolar disorder and are also schizophrenic. So, you know, those types of things get pushed off to the side. So I think there's a stigma behind that, because that's just been the ongoing idea of what we've been taught. And it's sad, because a lot of people out here could be doing a lot better if they were on medication, or they even had an awareness of what was going on with them. And nobody knows, because no one wants to talk about it.
Or even I'm sure in your field, to some extent, you can identify with this as a speech therapist, because I know for my son, he had a speech delay, and a lot of people in my family were just kind of like, okay, he'll grow out of it. Like they didn't actually say like, oh yeah, well, have you heard of a speech pathologist? You should follow up. Like I actually ended up hearing about it from his school, but again, we don't really seek out a lot of medical help.
Exactly. And I totally agree with that. I totally agree with what you just said. Absolutely.
So Kenzie, let me ask you this right here.
And shout out the speech therapist, because again,
because this is Better Speech and Hearing Month as well.
But also, I think people underestimate how much, and again, I'm speaking from personal experience with my son, how much that weighs on like your self-esteem. If I'm struggling to say something in front of the class and everybody's laughing, that makes me not want to talk. I'm feeling embarrassed. So therefore, it also plays with your mental as well. That's why I think it's so important to see how much, just improving somebody's speech improves their behavior, how they express themselves, and just self-esteem overall.
Absolutely. And that's a form of trauma. So I definitely agree with what you just said there as well. Absolutely.
So Kenzie, let me ask you this right here. And I'm sure we're going to go into it real deep next week. When it comes to autism, right? Mm-hmm. What is one of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to that? Do people, they think that people and children and adults who are autistic, do people think that they have mental problems? Do you think that's a big misconception?
I think it's a huge misconception. I think a lot of autistic individuals get rated as the R word, and or automatically special needs, when autism is not about that. It's a huge wide spectrum. So there's a number of things. So what I told you, like during my podcast, it's a social disorder. So just because someone is nonverbal and they don't communicate utilizing words doesn't mean they're not communicating at all. They're just not communicating to you the way in which you are used to. Mm-hmm. But they are talking to you. If you're looking at facial expressions, if someone is clapping their hands, something is wrong. So they're telling you, to them, wide open and clearly, that something is not right and something is wrong. But everybody does not understand that, because we like to talk about awareness versus acceptance. And when you're aware, that's cool, but you haven't accepted this person, even though they are communicating to you differently. It doesn't necessarily mean a disorder. It's a difference. Right. And so I think that's a huge misconception, because no one talks about that. No one, they shove the autism kid into the life skills classroom for however many hours per day. No one sees them, and then suddenly they miraculously reappear at bus loading time. So, nobody understands what to look for when Johnny's doing this, or what to look for when Susie is doing that. No one understands it because it's not spoken about in our communities enough. Right. Nowhere near enough.
That is so true. That is so true, because what and you probably have the better data. Autism, was that something documented only like as that some years ago, or has it always been documented as a name?
It has been documented, but in recent historical, if that makes sense, more recently, I guess I could say, hasn't been called autism. It's been called special needs, or the R word, prior to that. But I think it has always existed. It just has not been properly identified until as of more recent years.
Or treated, right?
Absolutely.
And I think that's the biggest thing, was because one, and I knew it had to be, because even when I look at it now, when I look at some kids, what I'm saying, when I was coming up, that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They were autistic, but they put the R word on it. You know what I'm saying? And the school system treated them as the R word. Mm-hmm. And especially when when Kenzie was on the show, and she told me, just the process of her being in the school system, and how it wasn't about treatment. It was about, I call it, getting a check. You know what I'm saying? There was no treating about it. You know what I'm saying? It's horrible. And that's what happened when I was, when I was younger. And so my homeboys, you know what I'm saying? I used to, we go to school together. We were all cool. You know what I'm saying? We were in the same project. And it's like, we get to school on the bus. I don't see the joker no more till it's time to get back on the bus. I'm like, where you at? Where you been all day? Oh man, I ain't got to do nothing in class. Yeah, like what? I'm mad. I'm trying to get in his class. You know what I'm saying? I got all this world coming back with books and stuff. This joke ain't got nothing. I'm like, man, my boy Sammy Cole. I was like, man, what's up with you and your books, man? I ain't got no books. I said, listen, I gotta get in your class. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to do. I want to get in that joke class. But so that was, hey, Kenzie, I really appreciate you for taking the time out. And you definitely finish watching the show, and then we definitely look forward to you coming in the show next week. You know what I'm saying?
I'm looking forward to it.
You can't do that yellow now. You know what I'm saying? Come with another color, paint something. You know what I'm saying?
I'll find you.
Okay. Don't kill him.
All right, Mr. 5 Tribe here. Okay. Thanks for letting me in on this one. Thank you, Leah, for having so much openness and honesty about this topic. We really need it in our community. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much. And I'll be tuned into your episode as well.
Perfect.
Okay, we appreciate you. All right, and we got another killer in the room right now. My godson. He's a big man on the block and street. You know what I'm saying? Out here on these streets or whatever. If you don't mind, could you go on the side also? You can put these headphones on so you can listen too. And you probably just hold the mic in your hand because you probably do better standing up because he be spinning. He old spinner. He one of them people in the chair doing this right here. You know who we got over there?
Yo, big cap in the building.
Grab the mic. Take it out of there. Take it out of there. Yeah, because that way it don't make all the extra. No, just pull it straight out towards you. Don't be scared of it, man. Pull the mic out. Pull the mic out. There you go. There you go. Put a little something to that.
Yeah, all right.
Different age grade. Generation.
I be trying not to break nothing.
That's why I said I feel him. I'll be like hesitant too.
I know.
What's going on? Hey, who we got over here?
What's going on? We got Big Cap in the building.
Okay, Big Cap. Okay, Big Cap. What's your name?
Corey.
You got Corey. There we go. We talking to Corey tonight.
Yeah.
All right, so Corey. So you listened to the conversation. Okay, and what are your thoughts to being some issues out here, and why do you think mental health is seen as a bad thing in a lot of cases? I ain't saying all the cases.
Yeah,
we're not saying all the cases.
Right.
In a lot of cases, what do you think?
I think it's the perception that comes with it. Like you're saying earlier, like when you say mental health, I think especially for guys, it's like a sign of that people look at it as like a sign of weakness. Yeah, like you're admitting that there's something wrong versus like, nah, like I'm a soldier.
And what's your age range?
I'm 22.
22. Okay. Yeah. All right. Just want to make sure everybody can kind of understand, because one, it's important because one, we have to connect these generations and these links to understand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
But yeah, I was saying like most guys, well, that I know at least, you're kind of taught to just deal with things. Like if something happens, you just take the good with the bad, keep on moving.
Right.
Yeah. And you don't really dwell on how you don't really think about how it felt or anything like that. You kind of just keep on pushing. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts of counseling?
I've never personally done it. I think it'd be something, I mean, I'd be definitely interested in trying it.
Yeah.
I think for me, I've always been kind of a self, like I'm real aware of like how I am. So like if I notice that like I do something a lot, like I kind of like go back in my past and connect the dots. So I guess in my own sense, I'm my own counselor. I don't know if that's good or not.
But then you're a little biased. That's why you need somebody who's unbiased and give you something, a different perspective.
Yeah.
But it is good to have great insight, because that's a good thing to help the counseling process work. Like if you can't like review back or be open with yourself, like it's not really going to work.
Right.
Okay. So from that perspective, you're saying that, but if you did seek counseling, would it be something you go back and you just let your homeboys know, hey bro, I just went to see Leah. You know what I'm saying? We got some counseling today. You know what I'm saying? Hey, here's a car. You need to go check it out.
Right. I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's because, well, I know you too. You're secure with yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But a lot of probably young men, they're not secure with themselves in that manner.
Right.
They're secure with themselves, but not in that manner.
They're probably
kind of like how he said initially that it kind of makes you look weak, or there's that stigma against that.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So talk about some things with yourself, because you were once a student at U of H. You know what I'm saying? Shout out.
I'll definitely give it up. Definitely give it up from Mariah to make it to our senior year. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But
what were some pressures that, with yourself?
Yeah, with me, it was almost like exactly what you guys are talking about. I had the balance of like, I know my school was paid for, but like I never took that for granted. Like I was always like, that made me feel more pressured. Honestly, I was like, all right, I did 20 years in the Army, give me my schooling paid for. Now I gotta succeed. This is this or nothing. And then I felt like I just kind of had to figure everything out on my own. I mean, like I had an advisor. I started going to her towards the end of like my college stint or whatever. But in the beginning, I was just like, I was making my own schedule. I was doing everything on my own. Yeah, that's why my class is all messed up.
Shout out to make it as easy as possible.
I constantly had to do nothing. But nah, you definitely feel like you're just walking through. It's like a new chapter of life.
Okay.
Like high school is like, what you're gonna do every day. You go to school, do your work, go home. With college, everything kind of becomes completely on you for the first time ever. Like, there's no parent-teacher conference. It's no, oh, I'm gonna tell your mama. Nah, it's you gotta find it in yourself to really want to do that.
Right.
And that's where I struggled because I was like, I went into college just kind of because like, that's kind of the routine that you're expected to do.
Okay.
High school, college.
Right.
Or high school and go find a job or something. But so I ended up just going originally for pharmacy, just because like it's something that sounded good, paid good.
Right.
And I started finding out that I really wasn't interested in it. It really wasn't like the school thing for me because I've just like I kind of naturally was good at most of the stuff.
Right.
Until it got to where, kind of like Mariah said earlier, it got to where I had to study. Never studied in high school. So I had to learn how to study. And it was like once again, like a pressure thing. You can't really, I feel like I didn't have time to be learning how to study because I'm there to get the degree.
Right.
I need to pass all my classes first go.
Definitely.
So it was definitely, like I said, like a lot of pressure and you feel alone and like, you just like, I can't tell my mom I'm struggling. That's not what they trying to hear right now. They want to hear, they want to hear good news. Oh, my baby doing good in college. So it's like, all right, let me not tell them that. We just figure, and let me get this C at the minimum and I can slide through and everything will be okay. That's kind of how I was looking at it.
Right.
Yeah.
But so what happened on the inner struggle? Because you got to the point where there was an inner struggle where you just kind of, where the point where you stopped going to school and now you got to live with this. Like, yo, the pressure, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Did you feel at that time you could have sought out somebody to talk to? From a professional, not a relative or not somebody you close with or cool with.
Yeah, I think that would have helped a lot. To have someone who related to the situation.
Right.
They probably could have steered me in the right direction or at least help me figure out my emotions. Because you going through it, like it's just everything is chaotic.
Right.
So I'm sure they could have definitely cleared some things up and made it feel like the world wasn't in it because it felt like it was just like, oh, everything is going on right now. It's like everything needs to happen. So I'm pretty sure they definitely could have calmed me down a little bit.
Right. So when you find yourself nowadays in kind of situations where things look tight or there's some pressure on you, like what do you do? What are your coping mechanisms now?
Now I've kind of got to the point where I kind of just let things unfold as they will. Like I've kind of learned to not get so worked up over what's going on now, right? Because it's exactly that. It's only going on now.
Okay.
You got to wake up tomorrow and something else is going to be going on. So I kind of just relax and realize that there is life and there's going to be another day tomorrow, another day the next day. So
this is just a season. And I feel like a lot of people, when you're in that moment, it's hard to realize that this is just a season.
Yeah. Everything will pan out eventually. So I kind of just keep working on whatever I'm working on and kind of let things unfold.
So would you push counseling to your friends?
Definitely. If it's something that they feel like, if they're struggling with something, I would definitely tell them.
Right.
Yeah. Like if you feel any kind of way or you feel like you need to talk to somebody, I would definitely tell them to go get it just because it's going to help you understand yourself better. And
so what are some things that you think that we can do to kind of break the stigma? Just holistically now.
Yeah.
Not just your generation, but everywhere. Because one, you still have to deal with the elders, you know what I'm saying? The people that are older than you.
Right.
Who probably don't view it the same way you view it. Because like Mariah stated, she said that her peers, they're probably more receptive to counseling or seeking out assistance and stuff like that. Where maybe the elders are not as, willing to do it. But because you're coming from a different mindset, you know what I'm saying? So even when you try to talk to them and explain certain things to them, well, some elders might be closed-minded to it because it's just like, you know what, this is how we do it. This is how we did it.
Right.
We deal with stuff. We tough. Well, that's why we got the problems. You know what I'm saying? Or you probably say that's why y'all got them damn problems y'all got right now.
I think it's going to be a lot of communication, and I think it's also going to be education for the older generation because, like I had touched on earlier, and this is kind of an unfortunate thing. A lot of older people haven't been to college. They don't understand that struggle. Like my mom went to college as an adult. So, for her, the temptation of like partying, trying to balance that, creating your own, like you said, coming fresh out of high school. And I don't have my mom waking me up. Like you had already had that train because you went to college as an adult. Like I think a lot of them don't understand. It's kind of like what you said. There's that extra pressure, or what all of us agree that there's that extra pressure of like, well, my parents want me to do good, but like maybe how about y'all check in? How are you doing emotionally? Like I know that had to be a hard transition, going from being at my house to you're kind of an adult-ish.
Right.
So I think it's going to be conversations because I think what you said is a huge thing. Like you don't want to go to your parents like, man, I'm struggling. This is hard. Cause they like, well, my money and I done worked so hard and I done created this foundation. Boy, you better, or girl, you better go get in them books, or you better go sit in that library all day. Like anxiety, what's that? Like you better pray about it and just go get on them books. Like they not trying to hear none of that. So it's like, I don't know. And actually I don't want to hear that lecture. So I ain't even gonna call you. Like I'ma just like I think Mariah said, I'ma just figure it out myself, or like I'ma just try to push through and
But do you think we continue to figure things out ourselves? That we just continue to do it. But at some point, there is an eruption. You know what I'm saying? There's an eruption or a leak at some point within inside of us. I don't care who we are. Yeah. You know, but these things come back. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, even at my age now, I'm sitting here, you know, there's things from my past, right? Things from when I was young, you know what I'm saying? That I probably pushed to the side, or just kind of like, I thought it was normal. And that it wasn't normal. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't it was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't normal.
But imagine if you talk to somebody like, i.e. a counselor, somebody unbiased, they could help you identify.
Definitely.
Because kind of like what you said, in your environment, if everybody else is doing it, that I think is normal, but I go to another state, another family, and they like, wait, what? You do it like that? It's like kind of well, maybe this isn't right.
or you find out you're a certain way, right? You know, I'll say this right here. I was always known to be called the robot. You know what I'm saying? Like I had no emotion. Like I have no feeling, like, you know what I'm saying? Like really. And it's not that. Okay, that's my explanation for it. It's not that. What it is, in your environment that you come from, you know, it just becomes normal. You a certain thing, you don't react. And it's almost like you think through a reaction. So where most people would jump, you know, I'm just not gonna jump. I'm gonna look at it, you know what I'm saying? And I can handle whatever's gonna happen, whatever. But I probably have the same reaction as everybody else had, but it's just I don't have an outward reaction, and I'm able to control it and be able to move. You know what I'm saying? Where some people can be, somebody can walk in here and start shooting, pow, 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 pow. Everybody jump. And so I'm probably gonna look at it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna make something happen. I'm gonna extinguish it, but I'm gonna make something happen versus run and jump. You know what I'm saying? And I liken this right here. When I was younger, I probably was probably like 24, 25. And I went to the state fair. I was out at Fort Hood, and went up to the state fair with my wife and a friend of mine and her husband, and she was pregnant. And so we were at state fair. You know what was going on? What was the thing they do at the state fair here? The football game, the Cotton Bowl. It was a Cotton Bowl. Right?
I thought you were talking about the restaurant.
Nah. So what happened was, we were there, and all of a sudden, you know, it's always a fight break or whatever. So right, it was like flow, 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 and it was like it opened up like the Red Sea. Everybody ran, right? I grabbed my wife, and I grabbed his wife, and I just stood and I covered both of them, right? And I just covered both of them, but it was a big circle. And the next thing you know, probably like 5 feet from us, they were wrestling the guy who had the gun. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to get the gun out of his hand or whatever. And I looked, and the dude's old girl's husband, he was way over somewhere else hiding. Right? You know, and so you can understand what happened at that moment. We were done. You know, I was never going nowhere with this dude ever again. He was done with me, and I was done for the night. And I said, yo, we about to go. You know what I'm saying? You know, make sure she was safe. She was pregnant. That's his wife. Then she's pregnant. And he ran. But what happened was he you know what I'm saying? It goes to reaction. I probably thought through the thing first, and I'm like, I'm gonna handle it first. I might have had the same reaction, could have started me too. But because my environment I come from, you feel what I'm saying? That's normal.
It wasn't as
so it ain't a big deal. But that's not normal.
For the average person.
Right. It's just not normal. You know what I'm saying? And so what happened is just over time you become, that's just who you are. And it's kind of like you don't react to certain things. And so it can respond to emotion. You know what I'm saying? And where we might say, you know what? Somebody might say, yo, you don't have no emotion. You know what I'm saying? You're like a robot. Yeah. Like, no, I do got emotion. You know what I'm saying? I do. You know what I'm saying?
Express it differently.
It just express it differently. You know what I'm saying? It could be the most sensitive person in the world, most attentive person in the world. You know what I'm saying? But yet, robot. You know what I'm saying? And so those are things that people have to seek out and talk to people about so they can get in touch with that side of themselves, so they can understand how to express them a certain way. You know what I'm saying? But those are the things that we, you know what I'm saying, probably our generation, we don't get. We don't know it unless we talk about it to some other man. Or I can sit here and talk to Don Kraft and be like, yeah, D, I can't like this, bro. And, I don't think it's cool. You know what I'm saying? I think I could be more this or right here or more that, right? So now it's me and him talking about the thing, and it's like, oh, they're going to go talk to somebody. And I think that's how it happens, because men can have that man conversation.
Communication rules the nation and open up a lot of doors.
You get what I'm saying with that, Corey, as far as the robot thing?
Yeah, that's like we said earlier. I think everybody in the room spoke for me, kind of. Nah, that's definitely me. Like, I don't know. I just, after so long of, because like I say, I've never been the kind of person to want to deliver like bad news or anything like that. Or like, I don't want, like, I think I'm real big, like with empathy. Like, I understand everybody got a life, everybody got things going on. So for me, I'm like, I'm not finna like waste my time, like, or go to somebody crying about what I got going on, because they got stuff going on too. So I just learned to, not really show what's going on. That way, like, nobody really got to worry about it. My biggest thing is, don't worry about me. I'm gonna be good. Like, I'm gonna get through whatever I'm going through.
Right. So, and is that right though?
Not
what I'm saying?
Necessarily, because ideally, everybody has to vent to somebody or has some support.
Yeah.
Maybe not that you scream it to the top of your lungs, but sometimes it's your mother, your spouse. Like, somebody has somebody that they vent to. It may be to a point where they like explode because they've been suppressing so long. But eventually, it's gonna come out. So it's not healthy. And like you said, most of the time, it's gonna come out in an eruption. Versus if we tried to start slowly letting it out or addressing things at the time. Ideally, we wouldn't have that huge eruption.
Right. Because a lot of times what happened, I think, with the grown men, you know what I'm saying, or just older generation or whatever, we'll wind up spending more time to ourselves. Like, we want to be by ourselves a lot. You know what I'm saying? Or like, we'll go somewhere, we just be by ourselves. Has nothing to do with the person that you're dealing with or whatever like that, but you just got to have that space. You got to be like, no, I'll be back. And you be gone for the whole day. You know what I'm saying? Or you can sit, Corey, no, I'll come here and I'll be here for 2 days. Literally, you know what I'm saying, for 2 days.
Chilling.
You know what I'm saying? Not even just chilling, because one is, it might be a coping. It might be something it's a coping mechanism. What maybe people don't understand is like, I just want to be on myself.
You have a lot of cool stuff here.
You know what I'm saying? And you make your environment comfortable to the point where you can do that. What about you, Mariah? What are some of your coping mechanisms, you know what I'm saying, that you use? Have you ever talked to anybody before?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So that means you've had to create your own coping mechanisms. And the reason why I'm asking these questions is because this is something systematically that we'll continue to build amongst ourselves. Right. And maybe, when we need to talk to somebody, or we realize like, oh, I've been dealing with this forever. You know what I'm saying? And if we're trying to get away from this and we want to push the stigma away, you understand? So what are some things you do to cope with? You don't talk about it. So what do you do?
One of my coping mechanisms is that we have a beautiful balcony.
Okay.
When the weather is
goddamn, shout out that damn balcony. That damn balcony in the damn high rise, that big building they stay in. They live
People
too good for some damn.
The power of like vitamin D and being outdoors.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, the vitamin
the balcony is a must.
Vitamin high rise, nice apartment.
So they real close to the sun because they
bougie. They bougie.
All right, I see y'all.
That's a bougie couple right there. Let me tell you. I ain't gonna tell you what towers they stay in, but I'm just telling you they bougie. You can't just get in there.
The fact that you said towers.
They stay in with all the Lamborghinis and Rolls Royces is all up in there.
Baby, I wish I was living like that in college. Struggle bus.
Ooh. That's all I gotta say. Anyway, go ahead, Mariah. Like y'all struggling over there, but go ahead.
But yeah, that's one of my coping mechanisms. Another thing I tried to get into was meditating.
Okay.
I was gonna try to do that, but it helps sometimes. It more so calms me down in the moment rather than something more long term.
Okay, got it.
But yeah, I would say definitely me on that balcony is the number one.
That balcony game is strong, huh? Okay, so when you're looking out past the balcony, like, what is your time? Is it nighttime you go out there and look? Daytime? Is it a certain? What are you looking through? What are you looking at when you're out there?
It could even be feels. Sometimes for me, like the sun can it could be the feels. It could be you're losing your thoughts. Sometimes some people like dogs.
Okay.
Water sounds.
You don't like dogs. Because the way you said dogs, you turned your mouth up. A whole face twisted when she said dogs.
People find joy in that.
Hey, shout out to people who love them dogs. You know what I'm saying? That's therapy. Right?
This is true. You know they got them
because people
them therapy
don't
dogs.
Don't people come see you? They have the brandy dog with them. Or they duck.
I had one client who brought her dog in, and Lord, every time she did, I was like,
you worry about the dog more than you paying attention to the client.
And it had no home training. I was like, make it sit. Like,
oh no, sit game was weak, huh?
And it can't sit on the couch though, so but make it sit.
Oh.
But after that, I decided to put in my policies and procedures. There's no animals allowed.
But people might need their comfort. They might need their comfort dogs.
And that's again where you refer out. Maybe you find you
a
therapist who loves animals and is all about the supportive.
That's it.
Emotional support pets. Right. I'm not there.
I'll tell you, because if I come up in your
but
office,
I'm the type. I like my
up.
Single mamas. You could bring your 2-year-old to terrorize my office, but that dog can't come.
Okay.
So I pick my poisons of what I allow.
Everybody gonna need therapy. That bad 2-year-old coming there. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm a mom, so you know, like, look, here go some crayons. Figure this out. Bring an iPad. You need the Wi-Fi password before we sit down, so y'all can get that stable.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a scenario, Mariah. You're not with Corey.
Yeah.
Okay, you meet a guy, and you're out on a date, and he says he talks to you about. He said, you know what, hey Mariah, I think we've been having some great dates. We're cool, and I think we ought to work out, but we're not. And I just want you to know I do see a therapist. What you said?
No, because I thought you about to keep going.
No, that was it right there. That's the hit right there. I need you to know I see a therapist 3 times a week.
Whoa.
No, whoa, hold on. We hell no. You ain't about to whoa. You ain't about to whoa nothing now. So now you're saying go to therapy, but now you're saying don't go 3 days a week.
I'm just
hold up now. Let her answer the question now. Because we already know what you're gonna do.
If you go into therapy 3 times a week, I feel like you probably got some big issues that you're working through that you may not need a partner right now.
Some people might just want to see their therapist. Leah, you could be so.
No, we cannot do that because we cannot unless you're paying. You're
paying out of pocket. I got that. They got that bread.
For me, it's not going to work. Like, there's only so much content that we can cover unless it's a situation like she said that it's a lot of complexities going on. And I would agree if you go into therapy 3 times a week and working through all these dynamics, ideally you might need to be single and see me. But I know a lot of clients like that, females that I have, and they're like, "Oh, I met this guy and he said he in therapy." Like they like it. Like just the fact that they're open to communicate, but that 3 times a week, I think that's where you lost me.
I lost Mariah evidently.
Yeah, because that's intense.
At first, I was like, okay, well, let me be. Who's your contact? Maybe I could go see him too. But you say 3 times a week,
right? Okay, so 1 time a week.
I mean, 1 time a week is cool.
You work with him. You work with him 1 time a week, right? Okay, all right. I'm just trying to see what it stick. Corey, grab the mic. You meet a young lady, you know what I'm saying? You know, she's beautiful and everything, and you be going out with her for a little while. She just said, Corey, I just need to let you know this now. I do see a therapist every week.
Me, I'm gonna just be like, okay, what are you talking about? I'm gonna ask what they talking about.
Why you ask what you talking about?
That's
Corey?
a good.
That's nah, because like
I didn't know what kind of issues you got, girl.
Right.
Hold on, why I gotta be see? Y'all put the stigma back out there now.
No.
Listen, we just talked about we need therapy. Now y'all being.
I did say issues. I take that.
See, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to prove. I'm proving a point.
Yeah,
I'm proving a point right now. Not against anybody here, but I'm proving a point. This is what goes on, and this is why people think the way they think. You know what I'm saying? And it's probably just a natural way of thinking that people think. Not saying it's a right way or wrong way, but this is the reason why probably a lot of people run away from it. Mm-hmm. This is probably a lot of people won't go. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I did that, because I just wanted to kind of throw it out there in a way. You know what I'm saying? So now, because if we always talking for us, hey, everybody drink water, right? But then if one of those moments say, man, shoot, I need me a soda. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hold up, I thought we just talking about drinking water. So how do we get past that? That's what we have to get past. Mm-hmm. For people thinking that something is an issue that's going to cause us not to be able to communicate or deal with, or be in relationships or whatever. We have to make it so that counseling or seeking assistance is not like an issue.
True, but also I'm not like trying to super clean up what I said, but in real life we all got issues. Like,
and I said,
nobody's perfect.
Just said
so
that.
Even when
I said that we all. I don't know nobody in my family, including me, that ain't got some problems.
So it's like, do I want to? Are our issues compatible, or can we
there you go.
I want to know what
our differences of
what type of problem it is. Because if you say you go into therapy because you hear voices, I'm gonna be like, well, hold on.
You know what I'm saying?
Or even if like you're in therapy because you're an alcoholic, but I had an alcoholic father, so therefore I know that that's a strong no for me. So that's why, to some extent, I feel like that is a valid question. But also in defense, that person has the right to say, "I don't want to talk about it."
That's true.
But I feel like if we are courting each other, then I feel like that is a question. Because that's something that could impact our relationship long term. So I feel like if we're at the stage of courting,
because they did bring it up,
outrageous question.
Because they did bring it up, right?
Sure.
They did say, "Hey, I'm seeing someone." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it does kind of open the door for you to inquire.
Yeah. Right. Versus somebody just being nosy, like, "Yo, do you see us?"
So what was you doing at 4 o'clock that you couldn't answer?
Yeah, I saw you come from Leah's office. Leah's office is down that way.
Yeah. What you doing that therapist girl?
Right. You know, so I saw you on a date with this girl named Leah. No date. I had to pay for that.
Right.
Huh? You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's your therapist. Oh man, you know. And that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure that some people will seek counseling in certain ways. They don't want to do it traditional way. They can seek some therapists that be like, meet them at McDonald's. Or, you know what I'm saying? Hey, can you meet me at the park? You know what I'm saying? So I can talk in that setting right there, because I don't want nobody to know I go to some office building because I'm some big CEO and I don't want nobody to know that I'm doing this counseling session.
But nowadays they even do a concierge. They'll come to your home.
Oh, really?
For a fee.
Okay, well, I don't think that's right there now. Good look right there. So the therapist got a boyfriend. No, you ain't going over there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Be
that's
like
where your spouse should be supported. Your spouse should be supported and trust.
That's a fact.
Support.
Are you side-eyeing the camera?
Hey, don't you try to dig down. Everybody ain't able. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't able. Hey, let's go and get this phone number up here real quick. We got 832. We got 779-6068. I'm looking for my boy Tony M to hit the phone lines real. I'm looking for Tony M, because you know Tony M always bring that thing in there. Shout out to Panda. What's going on, Panda girl? Do your thing. That's what she's doing. She doing it big. She said good evening to myself and Leah here.
Good evening. Good evening.
You know. Let me see. I find myself. Bring my man in right here. Yeah.
Tony M. Shout out to him.
I always shout out to Tony M. Shit. We ain't playing around with Tony. We're gonna have Tony M on the show.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
We can get Tony M on the show.
What's up?
What's going on there, T? How we doing, man?
Oh man, you know, just sitting here checking out Princess Leah and yourself.
Hey, she appreciates the food, man. Look, she got the plate stacked up over here, lobster tails and everything.
She ate very well.
I remember what we said, so you know.
Definitely, you kept your word for sure. I likes that.
Yeah. So Leah, a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
The therapist see therapists.
Yes. We are still humans. We still got issues. So definitely, yes.
Another question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say most people that come see you are maybe like, let's say suit and tie, white collar type people, or blue collar, or if you had to kind of?
I would say most of them are like minority, blue collar people working a 9 to 5.
Yeah, the normal people, the people that we might think is just normal people. You know what I mean?
Correct. Just your average person. Actually, my minority person specifically.
Billy Tom, Job, Tyrone. I got you.
Correct. Well, actually, we're gonna call her Tina because I like working with women.
Tina, that's right. You specialize in the women there. Let's assume I called you up. Well, how would that go? Would you be asking me a series of questions or something, or what?
I offer a free 10-minute consultation where you would tell me what brings you into therapy and ask questions of me. But typically, the main breakdown would be done in the initial intake session.
Got you. Okay. All right. I'm just asking because there's some things that I don't know, and people out here listening may want to know how that first phone call might go or whatever. You know what I mean? And
a lot of people wonder about like how the first session goes, and that can kind of create reservations of what to like not to call her because I don't know what to expect or what's going to happen. So I think it's a very valid question.
Gotcha. Yeah. I think there was something else, but I forgot. God, I should have wrote it down.
Oh, Tony, you ain't got stage fright, did you? Now? Come on. Shout out to Tony with stage fright. You know what I'm saying? He done got out here. They got a stage fright. They forgot his questions.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? He pulling Steve Harvey on it, and the winner of the pageant is.
It's Princess Leah, man. Yeah, but yeah, we've just been sitting here listening to the show, checking it out. Another hot show, you know.
Do you think
Appreciate you
do you think it's important that that we highlight stuff like mental awareness?
Absolutely. You know what? That's what I was going to say, because since the first time she was on the show, and Hugo and a couple other people, you know, I was like, I've been kind of viewing the world through a different set of lenses. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Nice.
So I know there's a few people that I bumped into or sort of in my circle or whatever, and I suggested to them, hey man, you know, why don't you go see somebody or talk to somebody? Because apparently we can't help you, or your homeboys ain't helping you. I ain't giving you, you know, but you keep running into that wall. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. People just still hesitant to do it. You know what I mean? Make that leap, you know? So even if I'm being supportive or being that dude, you know what I mean? Hey, man, obviously you're going through something that we ain't, you know what I'm saying? We ain't giving you the right answers or giving you the right guidance. So maybe you should talk to somebody else, you know? But I don't know. But we are still absolutely a professional. You know, that's where I'm trying to guide people to. But
right.
But
and why do you think they respond the way they do, Tony? Why do you think that, why do you think they're so hard pressed against it?
I don't know that they even. I don't think they really hear you when you say it. You know what I mean? I think it's just like a in one ear out the other. Did he really just say that? You know what I mean? So all I can do is be persistent. You know, right. and maybe they'll and maybe I'll just hope that maybe they did go see somebody, right? And just hadn't said nothing. So you know,
right.
We'll hope for the best. You know, the most positive outcome or whatever. And when y'all were talking about the pandemic or whatever, I was thinking to myself, well, then what about all the people that was engaged to be married and weddings didn't go down? You know,
right.
Especially women.
That's so true.
That's right.
That's so
that's
true.
Real specialty right there. So, but yeah, man, it's just like I said, I've been viewing the world through a different set of lenses. And like I say, there are times where, you know, I just shut the TV off, you know, don't want to see news and talk radio and so on and so forth, you know. So
right.
As long as I got that 5cast, we'd be all right, you know.
You know what I'm saying? We try to keep that 5cast fired up because, you know, we drop these right here. Keep you fired up. That's what we do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Have people like Leah on the show, Princess Leah doing her thing. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Yeah. And then Brother Don called me. Don like hit so many nails on the head, man. That was that was awesome. That was awesome.
Don dropped it. That's for sure. You know what I'm saying? But I really hope, you know, and I can't wait till the end of the month, honestly. You know what I'm saying? After we have the different other professionals on the show and to bring all of them back in here at the end of the month and really have that round table and kind of really summarize the month in itself, but it kind of summarize some of the conversations and things that came about and just hearing it from, you know, professional to professional in their different lanes. I think that's gonna be great. You know what I'm saying? Male perspective, female perspective. So just kind of have some of everybody here representing, so we can get the mindset and the thoughts of any question that most people could have, as far as maybe if there's some biases of people, they only want to see female therapists. Some people want to see male therapists. Some people want to see.
Yeah, that was another thing that kind of, you know, had me thinking there for a minute. I was going to ask Leah about, but so because you're a female, why the female specialty? Or do you think, let's say if I felt like I needed something, do you think I should seek a male or a female would be fine? I don't know.
I mean, I have male clients. I initially, per my license, my specialty is marriage and family. However, when it comes to like business and marketing, and then also for me, I want to identify a niche, and I identify with minority women because I am one. And a lot of the same things that they're dealing with are things that I identify with and that I think that I could bring another perspective to, versus like, unfortunately right now, the way they're killing Black men on TV. Like, yes, I can provide sympathy, but I've never been a Black male. So there's some things in that conversation where I wouldn't be able to bring the insight that I would like to. However, do I talk with my male clients about that 100%? But for me, I want to go with my expertise, which is being a minority woman.
Yeah, got you. Or even like from the family perspective, there's whether it be single dads or non-custodial. You see what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I was asking from that point of view.
But I also encourage people to interview their therapist. They should find somebody that they have the same core beliefs, the same morals, and things like that. Because if I'm trying to work with a client and I'm a Christian and they're atheist, we're going to have a different, so I think it's finding somebody who you have the core beliefs and the same morals as.
Yeah, I definitely think it's important. I think it's
my first question might be where you from, because if you ain't country cat, you might not be late. You see what I'm saying?
Gotta be country. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got that country in them, Tony. We don't know what we're gonna do with them.
I'm a city girl.
If they ain't eat corn on the cob, you know what I'm saying? Make it happen like that. They ain't doing right, baby. They ain't doing
man.
Right.
We gotta cut the curtains off the cob. You might not be one.
All right.
But seriously though, Leah, that's the reason why I asked. I just wanted to ask, just in case.
I think it's a great question. Mind, Definitely.
Hey, well, as always, Tony, I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you taking care of the meal for Leah. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
She was very happy. Once the platter came through, she was very happy.
And it's from a restaurant I actually like a lot, so it was a super plus.
Good deal. Like I say, we listen.
Yes.
If I ain't got my word, I ain't got nothing. You know what I mean? So
love it.
That's right. Hey, Panda, she said collard greens and all. That's what we do. Country boy. All right, hey, I appreciate you, T.
Yes, sir. Later on, we'll catch up.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. I know I'll be quick on the button on my button game be quick. I don't know why I do that. I gotta fix that. It must be an emotional issue I have. I need to fix myself.
You probably go all the time, and your mind probably already on to the next thing before you even say
I'm trying to tell you that
you was mentally already off the phone, so you're probably just like, okay.
It's like that. It's really like that. Hold on, you know what I'm saying?
You're already on to the next.
I think it's another phone, so I'm not gonna do it anyway. Hey, I'm gonna throw this number. Hey, Monique, could you call in? Monique Conway. Monique came from Maryland, right? Monique, she came in. In fact, she had some great. In fact, when y'all came, your girl came here. Remember?
That's
Monique.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Monique, man. When I say great perspective on things,
like, weren't you supposed to have her as a guest?
Yeah, she's gonna come in.
Very nice.
I'm gonna throw this number. Hey, Monique, can you call in if you don't mind? Your number is my other phone, so that's why.
Actually, no, I think I got her number.
Oh, do you? Let me see. Like, she has a beautiful mind. You know what I'm saying she's from Maryland originally, but she just relocated here from the RDU area.
Yeah, I got it.
Let's see. You don't want to call it out.
I definitely do. I'm sure she would not want her number.
Some people know the button sound.
I was gonna say somebody may know the button sound.
Oh, baby, if they got that down.
Hey, some people see it like that. They don't.
They need a hobby as a phone hacker.
See, she called in already. Oh, she got another number, hot number. Okay.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
Tell me something.
Okay, look at that. She got another number right there. Got them Silver Springs on them. I don't know about Silver Springs, Maryland. They bougie over there.
Hello.
What's up, bougie? Out there in Silver Springs, Maryland, by way of Houston, by way of Raleigh, Durham, everything bougie. What's going on, Monique? How we doing?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So, what do you think about Mental Health Awareness Month, and of course, Better Speech and Hearing Month? What do you think about this?
Oh, I absolutely love it. I love it. Huge advocate for it. Of course, I am over here just in the cheering stands for Leah and everything that she's talking about. But yeah, we don't push it enough. And I absolutely love this month because people, we dive into it. And the biggest part is keeping that excitement, keeping that exuberance for it after May.
Right. It's a continuous thing because this is life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
This is life. So I want to go to your comment. When you said, my mother has a whole daughter as a counselor and was baffled by the suggestion of engaging in therapy. Laugh out loud.
Yes. My mother she's done the life-changing ministries, all of that, at church. And, my mother had her own struggles before I was born, even, into my few, early years that I never knew about. I didn't know about until I was, in college, about to graduate.
Okay.
And, even now she's decided, I'm going to participate in Reiki and, go through all of that. And I told her, hey, a great companion to Reiki is counseling. Well, what do you mean? You think I need that? Absolutely. You have hired daughter of a therapist who sees a therapist, and she was just baffled, like, are you sure the stuff that I'm dealing with is deep enough to go and talk to somebody about? Yeah. And it doesn't, we always think that it has to be, this breakdown before we get into any type of counseling. It always has to be, this completely traumatizing event. And it doesn't have to be that way. It's literally, hey, you need someone besides your daughter to process this with. You need someone that you're willing to lay it all out on the table without concern for judgment, or if they're going to carry that on into future conversations and future interactions.
Right.
You need someone who is going to advocate only for you, because people forget that, just as Leah's saying, yeah, your therapist is a person and needs to see their own therapist. Yes, your friends and everyone, and even, the person who you want to use as your therapist is a person. So it's kind of hard for them to be completely objective.
Okay.
When you're speaking to them. Get with someone who is focusing on you and only you.
Okay.
If nothing else, find an hour out of your week to where this is about me and no one else.
Okay, got it.
But we forget that. We forget the importance of what else a therapist can do other than tell me how to create a safety plan or a coping skill in my immediate situation.
Right.
Therapists are good for your day-to-day life.
What's your thoughts on that?
I was about to say agreed. Okay. I was too far from the mic, though.
Okay. Yeah, the mic is
not as much this time.
I know that mic struggle.
I've been doing good. He just hating. It wouldn't be right if he ain't hate. I've been doing much better.
Shout out to Hayden. Hayden sometimes need to get a shout out. You know what I'm saying? We all got to do it at some point in our life.
I heard you clear. I heard you real clear.
Thank you.
Y'all,
see, that's my girl. That's my girl.
That's what they did last time. They were supporting each other here.
What else are we supposed to do? What else are we supposed to do?
Women empowerment.
Listen, it's supposed to be empowerment. It ain't got to be just about women. This will be empowerment, period. You know what I'm saying? No,
absolutely. There's therapist empowerment.
Yeah.
CJ Majors turned therapist empowerment.
Yes.
Criminal justice. I'm glad y'all went to therapy. You know what I'm saying? CJ degrees, boy. It was out there. It was hot. It was hot one time. Back in the day.
Back in the day,
they were hot. So I don't know why everybody was criminal justice. Don't y'all want to be cops or something? They were like, no, man. I don't know somebody.
I was with Leah. I was supposed to be a lawyer. I was supposed to, get out here pushing, that game, and Lord said no.
Right.
Basically.
You gotta listen when he say no.
Right. Definitely. Hey, I appreciate you there, Monique. Really do. You know what I'm saying? Doing what you do.
Appreciate y'all. Keep doing this amazing work. I love just, the platform and how you continue to push this, whole self-wellness. And so please continue to do this work.
Oh, I can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. I'm like Puffy Jr. You know what I'm saying? I don't play can't stop, won't stop. That's my thing. Take that. Okay?
I like it. Don't worry. We got a basket for all that you throwing out.
Hey, I appreciate you. All right. Thanks a lot. I'll pause. All right. 3, 4. Impress.
Good
okay,
job.
so I'm getting better right there. Therapy. She helped me with that. She got us a breakthrough.
Just that quick.
Okay, what Hugo say up there?
Laughing at Monique's comment. My family thought I was speaking a foreign language when I told them I was going to therapy.
Hey, that's how it is. And Hugo, of course, he'll be on the show at the end of the month.
Okay.
So that he's part of the roundtable discussion.
Yes, okay. Look forward to meeting you, Hugo.
So he was up here on the show before. And so and really the idea of even having a roundtable piece because it was instead of him doing a 2.0, he was just like, hey, what about getting some different people on here together for one show and just hearing the different perspectives, males and females, right? And
we're gonna be here all night.
I said, yeah, I said that's good. I said, but I'm gonna add people every week so I can build that table,
build up the
table. You know what I'm saying? So we don't just talk about this one time. So we don't just, people say, oh, it's this month, and then you have one event, and then that's supposed to take you for 365 days to next year. Exactly. I'm saying, no, I want people to understand that Firecast really supports this, and it's about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we're gonna go hard with it. You find another podcast that's gonna do it like that. That ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? It's about people. It's about people. You know what I'm saying? So I'll ask you this right here. What did you learn this evening, Mariah?
I would say that I wouldn't say I learned anything. I would say I would more so more open to therapy.
Oh, so you learned something. You learned that you would be more open to therapy.
Okay, yeah.
So you did learn something. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I would say that I'm not as hesitant about it before, because initially I would just kind of be like, I would want to go to therapy, like I would say it, but I wouldn't actually put no action behind it.
Right. Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
But yeah, I would actually consider it more now than before.
Well, shout out to Leah right here. You know what I'm saying? You go to find her at www.leahson counselingservices.com.
Or follow me on Instagram.
At hold on, let me show right here. Don't play with me. Don't act like I ain't got Instagram laid up there.
Let me see.
Hold
what you got for me.
Right here. Don't act like I don't have it right here.
Come on, Mr. IT guy and host. You do it all.
Bam. It'll pop there in 1 second. At Leah, the therapist. That is the Instagram. It's gonna pop.
That's me. Bam.
Don't play.
Follow me.
Don't play. Shout out like I ain't got it in there. Y'all stop playing. Like I don't do this thing for real. I push the button. I push the buttons right there now. Corey, you're gonna pull that mic out of there for the cat. Yeah, you get out of there now.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
You're playing the floor on them. That's how you play it.
For real.
So what did you learn this evening?
It's interesting. What I learned is that I guess I don't want to say I ever like discredited the study of therapy, but I always felt like it couldn't really speak for me. I was like, I'm an individual. You can't tell me that like you can read me based off of something you learned in a book. Mm-hmm. But she said something today, and like she hit it right on the nail. She was like, I forgot exactly what it was. She spoke on how the eruption thing. She was like, nah, yeah, everybody bottles it up, and then when it's time to actually speak about it, like it ends up being an eruption. So I guess for me, I was like, that was the first time where someone actually said something where I was like, you know what? That's true. Because usually when people speak on stuff like it'd be so vague in general, I'm like, nah, that's not me. Like I know how I am. But the fact that she read into that, because that's exactly how it goes for me. Like I bottle everything up. I just be moving. And then when I finally do bring it up and talk about it, it's like boom. Right. It'll be real short too. It's like maybe like 30 seconds. I'm like, and then I go right back to.
But it's still an eruption.
Yeah, it's an eruption for sure.
It's still an eruption, right?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Yep. So that's what I learned.
Okay, that's good.
Yep.
That's great. Okay. So this is what I got out of it. This is one of the things I got out of many things tonight, but I'll start with this comment that Monique just said. She said, and it's the power of platforms such as this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say this right here, and I'll say it 1,000 times. I don't care about if it's 50 people, 100 people, 1,000 people. What I care about is one. You know what I'm saying? If I focus on one person, right? Because not many people are going to affect or change anybody's life.
Right.
Many people are going to go through this life and they won't ever affect or change or assist in the change in somebody's life.
Mm-hmm.
If I can just get one, that's all I go after, one.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Then if only one person watched this today and one person give the answer that you two have given already, and we haven't got your answer yet, but the two answers you've gotten, you gave, had this not happened tonight, you wouldn't have given those answers. You know that?
Yeah.
Had this not happened tonight, Had she not been here tonight, you wouldn't have given those answers tonight. I promise you.
Right.
Wasn't gonna happen. You'd have been watching TV, do whatever you're doing tonight. That's what you've done. But you wouldn't have given those answers tonight. But the fact that you said what you just said, you know what I'm saying? You know, the fact that she said a certain thing and it made you like, you feel what I'm saying? That was a change.
Mm-hmm.
That was a dynamic shift. And the fact that you said, you know what, I can be open to this right here. I could see. You feel what I'm saying? That is a shift.
Mm-hmm.
Even Tony saying, you know what I'm saying, from the first show, you know what I'm saying? Because I understand the conversation. I remember the conversation that was kind of going on before, you know, and it was not like a struggle. It was like, well, if I'd never been in that scenario, I wouldn't know if I need help. Counseling. That's what Tony said last show.
That's
you feel what I'm saying? That's what he said. See, I pay attention to my shows. Don't think I watch my shows probably 3 times. I watch them, you know what I'm saying? Not for me. I watch them because I don't get to see it. Like, I'm gonna watch this show like 3 times. I'm probably gonna watch it 1 time before I leave. And then as I leave, I probably will go back and watch it 2 more times. And the reason why is because I don't get to see it the way everybody else gets to see it. I don't get to hear it the same way everybody gets to hear it. You understand? I want to get the same thing. You feel what I'm saying? I can only talk about what I'm getting right now from just listening from this, but I'm still over here trying to hit this right here, make sure the thing's streaming at the bottom, make sure this person comment, come on, look, check the phone. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not able to tune into what everybody's seeing all at once, right? So, but in the fact that I'm probably gonna smile the same way when I hear your response when I watch it again. When I watch it again, I hear your response. I'm probably gonna smile. You know what I'm saying? Because one, it's like, man, dad, that was great. You know what I'm saying? You know, not about how many people watch it, but the fact that, yo, that's one. Because imagine if this right here, if we go 365 days a year and we get one person every day and we do that times how many years, you understand what I'm saying? You see how many people we can affect? You just see how many lives we can potentially change, but some people don't even change or assist in change in anybody's life, their entire life. You know what I'm saying? But they want to show them how to wear something. Oh, you know, buy these jeans, buy these pants, whatever like this right here. And that's just going to be done in 3-4 months. You never see it again, right? But we're talking about something that's going to last forever. Something that when she gets to a certain point, or as she's thinking now, when she walks across that stage and she's like, okay, I got this biology degree, what am I doing? I said, man, I need to talk to somebody and see, get a different perspective. Well, maybe let me reach out to Leah real quick and get that old free 10-minute consultation and see what direction I want to go after that 10-minute consultation. You know what I'm saying? You know, stop, or, you know, you want to contact Hugo. And because one, he understands addiction, you know what I'm saying, in different variants, and not just addiction in alcohol, not just addiction in drugs, but addiction. There's plenty of addictions people have. You know what I'm saying? You can have addiction to watching dumb stuff on TV. You can have addiction to eating pecans or something. I don't know, but there's addiction. It's a something, you know what I'm saying, that's a systematic thing that people continuously do. You know, so but to learn once again, for me to sit here, and which is a big thing for me, believe it or not, because I'm sure I was an individual who viewed counseling or therapy in the way that a lot of people do. I know I am. You know what I'm saying? That was moving on too. I'm very you know what I'm saying? I viewed it the same way. Because I told you, everybody was in the crazy house. I knew where they was at. Or Berry Cherry. That's where they went. You know what I'm saying? That was the name of the hospitals. Right. They had those problems.
That's kind of, for me, the thing that I've learned is the fact that these stigmas are still very real and prevalent. Yeah. So again, making sure on the platforms that we do have, i.e. this one, our social medias, making sure we're addressing some of those stigmas, or even just putting the information out there, because they're still alive and well. And like we've talked a lot about kind of how some of these things are unfortunately ingrained in us. And so it's a lot easier said than done. So I think it's just, that's something that kind of just brought me back, because, you know, kind of like we identified our generation is coming more around to it, but there's still so much built up. So I think that that's what I learned, is just kind of making sure that continue to put this information out there to kind of combat some of those negative stigmas.
All day long, right? All day long. Hey, I appreciate you coming to the show. You know what I'm saying? Again.
Thank you for having me, and yet another great experience.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. And I'm looking forward to coming back at the end of the month. Like I said,
yes.
I'll let you know by the end of the week what day that's going to be on, because once I get the other, you give me the information for that.
Okay.
Young man. So that we can get everybody queued up with Kenzie and psychiatrist that I got coming on, so I can make sure those days work, because I really need to have all of y'all in the same room.
That would be
because
nice.
I don't think nobody's done that before, and that's a damn exclusive right there. You know what I'm saying? Another exclusive. That's what we're doing. We caring about mental health. You know what I'm saying? We caring about it, and we want to make sure. So make sure you guys hey, thank you for tuning in as you always do. Hold on, something. Hold on, I got a comment right here. Man, okay, I'm gonna let you read it. He wants you to read this real quick. All right, there you go.
Oh, that's a long name. May I ask your guest a question? When would a mental health professional suggest medicine versus teaching a life skill? The thought of taking an antidepressant is stopping a lot more people from getting help. Definitely very true. But I also think that that's another educational thing. I actually cannot prescribe medication as a therapist. At what time would I refer somebody out is whenever the issues become debilitating. And for me, also, before I refer to a psychiatrist, I usually refer to your primary care doctor to make sure that you get some blood work done and make sure it might not be other health factors that might be contributing to your mood, or some things that look like depressive symptoms like fatigue or fluctuating mood. Unfortunately, like in women, sometimes our birth control can contribute to that. A lot of times, some of these diabetes medications have a lot of negative side effects. So before I even refer to a psychiatrist, I'll always refer to a primary care doctor to do a wellness check.
Okay. Shout out to that wellness check. Wellness.
Health is wealth.
All day long.
But I think that's a great question, because I have clients that'll come and be like, I ain't trying to take no medicine. Don't give me no medicine. I'll be like, well, great. Because, I can't, even if you wanted to. But I think that is a big stigma that people do have.
Right.
Associate Minister and Reserve Deacon, Mr. Terry Jones. That's a long name.
Hey, Terry Jones be doing. I think he's out of is it Memphis, Terry? I think he's out of Memphis, or if I'm not sure, or either he's in Tennessee. He's one of those two.
Well, thanks for tuning in,
but Terry,
Mr. Deacon Minister.
He be coming through. Handling business. He be coming through. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate him for real. Appreciate you there, Terry, for real. So the thing I was gonna say real quick was, damn, it threw me. I'll remember it next time.
We talked about the regrouping. It's gonna be lit.
Yeah, that's gonna be hot. That's fire. You know what I'm saying? It was something else, but it's all good. But I'll think about it next week. You know what I'm saying? When Kenzie's on. But hey, we have a show on Thursday. Have a young lady. She was in the Marine Corps. You can look up on Instagram. She does it big now. Her Instagram is officialrobin.williams. Officialrobin.williams. And she's a former USMC veteran. She's the CEO of A Hero Needs a Story, scholar, humanitarian, and she's a police officer here in Texas. Okay. But the thing she's coming on here for is, one, she's from Chicago originally. You know what I'm saying? I mean, from Chicago, like Chicago. She grew up in Chicago. She one of the people that's, they being like, some people from the outskirts of Chicago. She's from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? And she after graduating from high school, she went right to the Marine Corps to get out, to kind of get away from that right there. But life never leaves from Chicago. And so she got out. She started a foundation and stuff like that. She always will continue wanting to give back. She's a police officer, and she's going to be running for mayor in 2024 to be here in Houston.
Nice.
So she's going to be the first Black female mayor of Houston. You know what I'm saying? So she's coming to the show on Thursday, and that's going to be a great thing. So I'm telling you, beautiful young woman. She's doing her thing. Like I said, she served the country. And this is not an episode to talk about police brutality and all that stuff like that. It's not about that. This is about her. Mm-hmm. Like I said, if like a celebrity come here, it's not about the celebrity when they come here. It's about them. You know what I'm saying? So when she comes over here, it's about her. You know what I'm saying? And what her plans are and what she plans on doing. So that's what the show is about. And so nobody has met any female that is running for a mayor of this city until Thursday. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the exclusive. You know what I'm saying? And it's here first before she gets on Fox News and all these other CNN that they're gonna get her. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna tell their narrative of who she is. But right? You
always with the premiere first.
Yeah, you're right. But she's coming here. She's gonna tell her who she is. So that way the foundation is already set. It's very smart. I think it's a smart thing. She reached out to me, and I was like, talk to her on the phone. You know, saying about 45 minutes, and I was like, man, I was so amazed. I was like, oh, don't tell me too much, because one, I want it organic. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be this Thursday, and I can't wait to have that show, and that's gonna be great. So I appreciate everybody for coming. I appreciate you as always.
Thank you for having me.
That's Princess Leah out here doing her thing. You know, you're always welcome to come back here anytime. Well, you're gonna be back here anyway. You can be back here in the month. So we'll make sure Tony M got you locked in. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Tony's my new spokesperson.
He's gonna be your new spokesperson.
Okay, Tony.
That's what's gonna happen. So hey, join us on Thursday, you know what I'm saying, for Robin, and we're gonna have a great time and good night.
It's the king of no track, baby. Take wheel. Take wheel. Everybody take wheel. Come on, take wheel. To the take wheel. Everybody take wheel. We got to speak to me, bitch, I don't give a fuck. Give you a jab to the nose and make you say what's up. I'm in the club, nigga, tuck with the long barrel. When the music stop having singing, not Christmas carols. People hate me, man, I really do know why. They see the wings on my back and they know I'm gon' fly. So what the fuck supposed to do? Just try to please people. Got my indicator belly and I don't get people. Remember, used to put newspaper in my tennis shoes. Used to walk around in them tennis, the mini shoes. For party nigga, I was too thugged up for that. Never told all my enemies I couldn't be a rat. But niggas told on me, nigga, they got it in return. Now in they mama's living room in a nice earth. Fuck you, your whole crew, bitch, cause you gon' get caught. Blow your brains out in your lap, now hold that thought. Motherfuckers, the beginning of a new era. Jay will get in it poppin', nigga, cause I'm so clever. You can love me, you hate me, nigga, but I'm still ready. T5 legacy never in the bitch, it's the beginning. This is the beginning of a new era. Jay will get in it poppin', nigga, cause I'm so clever. You can love me, you hate me, nigga, but I'm still ready. T5 legacy never in the bitch, it's the beginning. This is just for my killers who just straight up murder. Leave you in the sewer dead just like a ninja turtle. I got connects with the real fucking black mob, and I'm trying to get it right for my man God. So anytime I don't believe me, that there's no problem. Niggas will torture your ass, you wish they fucking rob you. Menace to society, that's my favorite one. Desert Eagle 50 caliber, that's my favorite gun. My nature willing, yes I'm gunning for your fucking dome. You the homie kid cause you always running fucking home. MBK got a boy, your house will clap it up. I run my mouth like a big booty bitch, I can back it up. Try niggas on pickups just like they did in Jasper. Keep fucking around, your new friend is gonna be Casper. You gonna be in the casket, people trying to comfort on you. But so many hoes ain't taking can play golf for you. Motherfuckers, the beginning of a new era. Jay will get in it poppin', nigga, cause I'm so clever. You can love me, you hate me, nigga, but I'm still with it. G5 legacy never in the bitch, it's the beginning. This is the beginning of a new era. Jay will get in it poppin', nigga, cause I'm so clever. You can love me, you hate me, nigga, but I'm still with it. G5 legacy never in the bitch, it's the beginning. Fuck that shit, boy, I'm tired of being nice. White shit in your head, it's not a fucking nice. Like you can turn mics fed, like a pistol, stay with some lead. Like Marita, dog, stay with some bread. Lived in the trailer, not no projects. They still got it, but you wouldn't run on my set. I kill niggas, dog, and also I kill time. Turn out my snitches, head to fucking moms. Niggas tell on me, goddamn, they drop the fucking down. Your brains are gone, now you out of your fucking mind. And niggas know I fight you, bitch, young rich strap, but they don't fucking understand to get the bitch, get that head, that gun clap. This is the beginning of a new era. Jay will get in it poppin', nigga, cause I'm so clever. You can love me, you hate me, nigga, but I'm still with it. G5 legacy never in the bitch, it's the beginning. This is the beginning of a new era. Jay will get in it poppin', nigga, cause I'm so clever. You can love me, you hate me, nigga, but I'm still with it. G5 legacy never in the bitch.